Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Shoot. What's up, everybody? It's H3 Podcast. Friday, June 10th. We have a special episode here today on this After Dark. We're, of course, joined by my wife, Hila, who we love so well.
Thank you.
And a distinguished guest is with us here today, Chelsea Manning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm very interested in your story and everything you've done, and I look forward to having talking about a lot of stuff with you. So thanks for being here.
Nice. Thanks.
Is it true? So let me just lay some groundwork here. So if there's anybody who doesn't know who you are, who's watching, basically you are a United States government whistleblower. You blew the whistle on the military, the government. And it was the biggest leak of military documents ever, right? Almost 1 million documents or over 1 million documents?
I was 750,000.
750,000.
Counting.
Yeah. And, well, it was, a huge story all through. I mean, it still is, right? But, like, the past decades, it's been very present in media.
Yeah, it's gotten a bit of attention.
You faced the wrath of 2 presidents. Maybe more so one than the other.
Yeah, two presidents, technically 3, because one was vice president at the time. So.
But Trump obviously has not had kind things to say about you.
Trump hasn't had kind things to say about me, no.
Or anyone, really. I mean, who does he speak?
A lot of government people.
Yeah.
Hillary
He even
Clinton.
hates his own kids, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't really care.
And pardoned by Obama after 7 years. Well, commuted by Obama after 7 years.
Yeah.
And there's just so much to talk about. I really want to start from the beginning. But actually, before I get started from the beginning, it is Friday, so we have to say hello to. This is Gabe. He's known as White Claw Gabe. He calls in every Friday.
Yep.
He's a local celebrity around here. Gabe, how's it going?
Hi, Gabe.
It's great, motherfucker. Fuck me. Fuck me.
Okay, fuck. It's Friday, baby. Ow!
Friday. Ooh, I'm chugging a soda.
Oh, you got a root beer? No White Claws yet?
It's the best, motherfucker.
Okay.
And the weekend, motherfucker.
Let's fucking go. Ow! He loves Friday. He loves the weekend. Who doesn't? What's going on with the Barks root beer? You're not... Oh, shit. He's chugging it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we got a root beer chug from Gabe. No way, dude. You are going to be so fucked up this Friday. He's dripping. Whoa!
Oh, my God.
He's got to get the drips in. Wow. How was that? No, not a second one, Gabe. Don't do it. Oh, my God. Someone handed Gabe another Barks root beer. Oh, he's struggling. From off screen.
Who's that mysterious hand?
Gabe is just, wow, he is going off this Friday. 2 Barks root beer chugs, man. That is legendary.
That counts.
Yeah.
That one's clean. People talk about the Sprite Challenge. What is that? Gabe just... Is there a third one, Gabe? Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it, Gabe. Don't do a third one. Oh,
What?
wow, okay.
Oh, my God.
Ooh, feels good.
Fuck, baby. How's your stomach feeling after that?
Much better. Ooh,
Damn.
weekends for soda.
Wow. That was impressive, buddy.
Ooh.
Ow! Ow! Fuck, baby. Ow! All right, Gabe. Well, you have a great weekend, okay? I got to talk to my guest, but thanks for checking in.
Thank you. That was quite a show.
Fuck, baby. All right, you have a great weekend. Love you, dude. All right.
Motherfucker. birthday.
Fuck,
Yeah.
baby, fuck. Ow, ow, ow. Gabe, White Claw Gabe, everyone. That was an unexpected treat. Chugging 2 Barks root beers
Yeah. The first one didn't count. That's why.
because there was a drip.
Yeah.
So they had to do a mulligan.
Yep.
Man, you are strict.
I am strict. It's supposed put. It's like in the military. You push up, it's very
Yeah,
strict.
yeah.
You get to into the 41 club where you don't pass your airborne test because you only reach 42. You're
have to
supposed
do-
to reach 42 as a minimum.
Yeah.
And then the instructor, whoever is measuring you, just goes 41, 41,
Oh, they fuck
41.
you.
Doesn't count.
Military
Shit.
assholes. Well, let's start from the beginning, okay?
right.
So, Chelsea, where were you born?
So I was born in Mercy Hospital in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, if you want to get technical.
Sure.
So I was born in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I grew up mostly in the Midwest until I was about 11 or 12. I think it was 11 whenever I moved out with my mother because my father's American. He was in the Navy, and he lived out in the UK on his Navy tour there and married my mother. They came back to the States. She got naturalized here. Lived here lived here until I was basically born with my sister. Basically spent the first 11 or 12 years of my life living with her and my sister and my father until my parents divorced. My sister, being 11 years older, moved out of the house, and I moved. My mother gained custody of me, and I moved out in the UK and went to secondary school in Southwest Wales.
So you're okay. So your dad is English or half?
No.
or
No, my
your mom's
mother's
English.
my mother's
So
Welsh.
Okay,
yeah.
so you moved out to the UK.
I did.
Interesting.
And
And,
then I came back to the States after a few years. I came back and
So you-
moved in with my father again.
you're a dual citizen.
I am, yes.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
That used to get you into EU. It doesn't anymore.
No, it doesn't get. And that, apparently
Such a burn.
I apparently got to apply for Irish citizenship now. So.
Oh, that'll get you in.
That'll get me around. Little curveball thrown.
So
at the-
basically what was it like? Kind of, your dad was a military man. That's kind of interesting because obviously you ended up going into the military. Did
Yeah,
that have?
but he was
anything to do with-
Navy.
He was a Navy guy. You were
Yeah.
an Army guy.
Yeah.
There's a rivalry there.
Yeah, I mean, basically after I moved back with my father, he remarried, and I was a little different as a kid, right? Because I was like living as this sort of this like gender non-conforming, twinkish boy mode kind of like I didn't really know that I was trans. Like I kind of knew that something was going on, but I was just like goth, rebellious,
Sure.
or whatever. She did not like me, and so after I turned 18 and he was no longer liable, to have
Legally.
to hold me, she basically told him to kick me out of the house. So
Wow.
then
And-
I lived houseless in basically the Midwest and landed in Chicago for almost a year.
Is your dad kind of a traditional guy? Like, were they
Yeah.
accepting of the whole
I think
gender confusion?
I think my father's not so much. I would say that my father wasn't homophobic, but he was definitely like on the transphobic spectrum. So,
Just probably like,
but he's also like this individualist guy who's just like right, like a
Macho.
yeah, he's just like very much your sort of typical like white upper middle class
Yeah.
Midwestern male.
being trans is just like such a foreign concept
Yeah,
to him,
exactly.
probably.
So I wasn't exactly accepted, but I did try. So I moved in with my aunt in Maryland for after being houseless in Chicago, which I just want to mention real fast. Being out in LA, it's just like the house.
Well, yeah, I'm.
Homelessness.
That sounds
definitely
really
an issue
rough.
here.
And Chicago's a cold, LA is like nice, but Chicago has
Yeah,
brutal weather.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your stepmom, what was the issue? Was it like a transphobic, a homophobic?
Yeah,
thing?
I think so. I mean, she was definitely homophobic.
Traditional, like Christian
Oh,
lady?
very much so.
Okay.
Although the irony is that they divorced like a couple years later.
Oh, she's going to hell for that.
Yeah, I know, right?
See you in hell.
Yeah. So basically, didn't have a lot of family support. as I was coming out. But I moved in with my aunt, my father's sister, in Maryland, and while I was there, I was sort of juggling 3 jobs, trying to pay for bills, trying to find my own place, and it was like summer 2006. Into like summer 2007, so about this year time frame that I was working at Starbucks. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch.
Wow.
You got accepted
I was in
there?
I was in college too. Like so, basically, it was like a
Okay.
100-hour week.
Yeah.
100-hour weeks of just doing constant stuff in this churn. And while this is all going on, the Iraq War is like the main thing. Like
Right.
it's like the main, like it's the dinner table discussion. It's the conversation that everybody's having. You had the household names of George W. Bush, Donald Rumsfeld, then Robert Gates, and the surge. Sort of all of this stuff happening in the background, while I'm also just sort of like struggling to figure out who I am, where I fit in the world, how I, where do I go, where do I land, essentially, in going forward with my life and fitting in, and I started I was trying to reconnect with my father in this time, and he kept on pushing me to go into the Navy or the Air Force.
I see.
And of course, me being a rebellious pain in the ass, kid, I enlisted in the Army, and I also knew that this troop surge was going on, so the Army was where people were needed. So I enlisted in the Army.
So actually, before I get too deep into that, I want to go back to, so you were living in Chicago. You were homeless in Chicago.
Yes.
And for how long did you live in Chicago?
I haven't really done the math on it, but several months. So.
And were you living on the street, like street?
I borrowed my father's pickup truck.
Okay.
So I was in a red 1992 Nissan hardbody pickup
And
truck.
and was it like a winter thing or a summer thing?
Thankfully, the winter hadn't hit,
Okay,
but there
that
were
would've-
cold nights.
Yeah.
But the worst was the hot days
Right.
in that time frame.
So what did you do? What were you doing during that time? You got kicked out of your house by your stepmom.
Yeah.
And then why did you decide to go to Chicago?
Well, it felt the safest because I had
Interesting.
tried a couple different cities. I had dealt with sort of small town sheriffs, Tulsa Police Department, St. Louis Police Department. I had dealt with sort of like being a houseless person, not being able to find a place to sleep, and basically being harassed by cops all the time.
So when you say safest, you mean that like Chicago has the most
I wasn't-
leniency for
Yeah,
that
they
kind of
didn't
thing?
they didn't fuck with me. Like
Okay,
I
I
could
see,
sleep
I see,
somewhere,
I
and
see.
I could sleep in my truck and not be bothered for most nights.
I see. I see.
Um,
And so after living there for a couple months, you
well,
basically
I do want to say what I was doing.
Yes.
I had a job at the Guitar Center.
okay. Do you play?
I was at the I was in pro audio, so I was that's my DJ.
Hell yeah, dude.
One of my side gigs is DJing.
Oh, right. So are you getting back into DJing at all? The people are wondering.
Yeah, I got my ex DJ, so I'm working on my set. So I'm at some point going to
So
surprise someone somewhere at some club with.
So when you
that.
DJ, are you mixing new things or are you just playing?
I'm sticking to a playlist right now.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna be completely pre-programmed. But like I'm playing around with sort of doing live production pads and additional like things with synthesizers that I can attach to it. To sort of
Interesting.
mix it up and do sort of bootlegs. But
Interesting.
that was what I did in like later that whenever I was living in Maryland, I went and I did the DC club scene and played
Oh,
played a
wow.
couple sets.
That's cool.
Mostly to like University of Maryland and Georgetown students.
That's not a bad gig though.
No.
They pay you?
Oh yeah, I got paid, but it wasn't enough to like pay the bills.
Yeah.
So it was semi-professional at best.
So when you're living in Chicago, how do you like shower and kind of just take care of yourself and all that kind of stuff if you're living out of your car?
Truck stop.
Truck stops?
Yeah, because I had a truck, so I'd spend an enormous amount of gas money driving out to a truck stop,
Right.
using a truck stop, like shower, like what is it, the Flying J? They usually have showers, or they had them back then. So
They still do? Dan, you showered at the Flying J?
On a road trip or two, yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't even know they had showers at
I
truck
didn't
stops.
Yep.
either.
Do you pay or is it just open?
Should if I recall it being open, so I'm not
Is it
sure.
private?
I mean,
They have a private
sort of.
stall?
It's yeah.
Is it kind of shady? Like,
It's like a pool.
Wow. That's very progressive for this country.
Yeah, well, you know,
I'm surprised.
it wasn't the best, but it was
Yeah.
certainly it was certainly the ability to have some amount of hygiene.
Yeah, that's good.
Or the other thing was just sort of like, and I talk about more about this in my book, sort of survival strategies in terms of the city, like surviving, finding food.
This is what
finding
apparently
shelter.
it looks like. That looks nice.
Damn,
That's
I don't remember
that's
looking.
nice one, right?
I don't remember it looking like that.
Yeah, that looks like a nice gym.
That's an upgrade.
How could you keep it that clean at a public truck stop?
yeah,
There's no way.
No way.
It's got like a rug. You know that'd be
Rug,
covered in
that's a
piss.
towel.
It's a tiny towel. Well, I guess it's a makeshift. It's in between. Let's
go. Yeah.
So anyway,
Living it up
so
right
you're
there.
living in Chicago. So what makes you decide you're gonna move to Maryland?
So my aunt tracked me down. I don't know how.
Interesting.
We've been trying to work out exactly what happened, but my aunt.
Your
tracked
dad's sister.
My
or-
dad's sister,
Yeah.
who lives in this, she says it's a nice house and it's an okay house, but
It's a beautiful house.
It's a lovely house in Maryland.
Good for her. Yeah.
And so she had a bit of space for me, and I crashed there.
So how did she track you down though? Could you?
I don't know. There's been when we were sort of doing research for the book, it was we were trying to figure out, piece it together, because I just remember being on my phone one day, because I had things that I had were a cell phone, I had a laptop, I had and I could do Wi-Fi at some places, and I had my truck.
I
So,
see.
and I tried to get a post office box situation as well.
I see.
And so I was trying to establish myself. I was actually looking to get an apartment in northern Chicago. I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm sticking to northern Chicago. But yeah, I wanted to I wanted to sort of settle down there. And my aunt called me and just rang me on the phone, and I was just like,
She
"Oh,
said,
hi."
"Hey, come live with me. I'll
Yeah,
let you
I
out
was
there
like,
on
well, I
your
don't have
own."
money, and she's like, well, I'll send you money, and she sent me
Wow.
enough gas money to
That's
drive out.
very sweet.
Yeah.
Were you-
Lifesaver.
Was she close? Were you close with her before that?
Absolutely, we're still
Yeah,
close.
yeah, that's sweet. God bless.
sweet.
God bless.
Yeah, my aunt
bless that. That's
an
amazing.
incredible and very generous person.
Wow, that's touching. That's really nice to hear.
Yeah.
So you moved down into Maryland with your aunt, and then how long are you living there for?
Almost a year before I enlisted in the military.
So what?
My aunt was not happy about.
Right. Is she kind of more liberal version of like your dad?
Yes,
More progressive.
definitely.
Hates the military.
She was a John Edwards
Yeah,
supporter,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
a John Kerry supporter, and then Obama. I think she was a Clinton and then Obama supporter in 2008. So
So liberal
she's-
down the line.
yeah, she's definitely very centrist, democratic.
Got it. Is your dad kind of a Trump guy? Is that where his politics?
I
fall?
don't know. I haven't talked to my dad in over a decade. So
Okay.
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
I think the last time I spoke to my dad was in 2010. So
That's interesting. I was curious how he was.
I don't know. I let my sister's the buffer.
Okay. Okay.
I let my sister.
Well, we'll get to that. We have a long way to cover.
Yeah.
So you live with your aunt. You were still in touch with your dad at the time. Iraq's going on, and
Yup.
you said I wanted to join the army because that's where they needed people. Were you fulfilling some kind of patriotic duty? Did you
I think
feel-
so.
Yeah.
I didn't have strong political. I didn't have a lot of political underpinning
Mhm.
at that age. I often like to joke that in 2007 my politics consisted of leave Britney alone.
Okay. and you know what's interesting about the Leave
That's
Britney
pretty,
alone?
early.
Aged well.
They were right. You
Yeah.
guys were right. We all made fun of you, and you guys were right. God damn it.
Yeah, so that was the extent of my politics in
Okay.
2007.
How old were you when you enlisted in the
I
army?
was 18. I think it was no, it was 19. I was 19 because it's 2007. So
Was it kind of just the typical military trap where you're like, I don't know what to do, and the military sounds like a good place to go?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. The ads were constant. The Army Strong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was really attractive for somebody sort of needing to find because I felt lost at 19 years old. I had been houseless. I was struggling with all these different things, and I just really didn't really have a sense of like where I fit in the world. And then I was like struggling with being. I figured out by the time I was like 19 that like, hey, like maybe I need to like seek hormones or get some kind of
Interesting.
therapy or something like that. And my father was just pushing me to man up, like I did at that age still want to like get my family's favor back, so.
So by the time you enlisted, were you kind of, you were somewhat aware that you were trans?
I knew I was gay because I was definitely.
You were living as a gay man at the time,
was,
right?
Yeah, I was. I was in the DC. I was in the Chicago and then the DC gay scene.
Were you closeted though to your family at that time, or you were out?
I mean, I didn't exactly come out, but I mean, I wasn't hiding it,
Yeah.
Me coming home with like a rainbow belt,
Okay,
on
okay,
Pride
okay,
weekend is
got
not,
it,
it's not,
yeah.
it's not hiding.
Okay. So enrolling in the military, were you somewhat afraid because you're living as a gay man and you think you might be trans? Were you afraid of what it would be like to live in the military with that identity? No.
No. I had no idea what the real consequences of that were.
I see.
So I went into basic training and I enlisted as an analyst. So I became an intelligence analyst and I worked in that and sort of, it's funny. I became an intelligence analyst because I didn't want to get because I work with computers and I have a background. I've always had a computer in my house since I was like 7 years old. I've had this like rig in my bedroom, right? My own computer, which being like 7 or 8 years old, having a computer with internet access.
It's like everything.
In the mid '90s was just like something that most people didn't have access to, And yeah, so I've always, I have an affinity with computers, and I've always worked with computers. But I actually wanted to be in a role that was more like about geopolitics, sort of thinking about things, tactics, strategy, understanding of people, and sort of the military has this phrase, human terrain, understanding the human terrain, especially in counterinsurgency operations. And that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get into that. And then the first thing I do whenever I finish training, they hand me over this gigantic data science rig, which is a computer system and databases, and I'm just like, oh no.
Why were you like, oh no?
Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Because you knew you were gonna misuse the tech.
I mean, well, you can't help it, right?
Was it like a supercomputer at the time, just like a super gnarly?
I mean, it was Dell Alienware.
You're saying, yeah. Well, so you enlist. You do. How was boot camp for you? I mean, just right out the gate, because
how long?
I think
is
basic
it?
training. I had
I
had like a nerve injury on my right arm and left foot.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it more in my book. There's the plug right there.
Hey guys, there's a book coming out for sure. Book is coming out. Something to look forward to towards the end of the year. Right?
Working on the title. I think it's Read Me. I think that's gonna be the title.
Read Me.
Yeah.
It's a command.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also like it's an important thing because there's like a file in the story. It's about Read Me.
Double.
Yeah.
Double.
So,
love that.
but yeah, So basically, I was working with computers and doing data science, and that was my role, and that was what I did.
Did they ask you what kind of role do you want, or did it just happen?
So
like that?
you get to pick your military occupational specialty, or MOS, before you enlist in the Army. It's not the same with other services. I don't know if it's changed or anything, but at the time, the Army was where you went to sign up and know the role that you were going to be put in.
That's interesting. Can you just sign up for whatever you want, or do you have to take some aptitude test?
Yeah, I took an aptitude test and I slam dunked it, apparently.
You're a smarty for the Army.
I mean, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and I haven't looked at it, but basically I was like, I want to do this, and like, you have to pass this test. I'm like, okay, like, did I pass? And like, yes.
Okay. Okay, because I would assume that analyst is one of the more probably.
Yeah, I remember the
positions,
only
right?
one that had, I think that one of the ones that had more aptitude was like satellite communications specialist.
Wow, very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so the analyst basically is someone. It's in part of the intelligence branch, right?
Yeah, it's the.
By definition.
Yeah.
And you crunch basically data to.
We Google. We
you
do-
Google shit?
yeah,
Is that
we-
right?
Well, it's we do what Google does, which is just collect data and do analysis, right?
So you get a bunch of data from the military, and basically they say, let me just.
Do math.
Oh, it's math.
Yeah, it's math.
Can you give me an example?
All right, now we're getting to machine learning, which is my specialty.
Okay.
So there is a number of different means and methods in data science. One of which was extremely popular at the time because this is before you had your NVIDIA graphics card in your machine, and you could do neural networks or any kind of more advanced machine learning at the time. You can use Bayesian statistics, which still requires a lot of number crunching. And it uses a specific set of addition instructions on something that is predictable, and it allows you to take a historical data set and move it forward into the future and look at what's possible in the future through a certain amount of time.
So, but like, what kind of stuff would you put in there, or like
It can be anything. I mean, stock tips. You want to put the stock market into there. That's how the earliest stock market models were.
But I mean, like in Iraq, what was like the most common thing that you would analyze?
Like how does that?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't get into the specific data, but generally, it's people, places, locations, times, like certain criteria.
You just try to find patterns.
Yeah. There's pattern analysis.
Okay, I see.
Term. But and now I do this for a living. Still, still doing the same thing.
It seems like so. It sounds like you got an extensive education in the Army. Is that accurate? Because it's
well, I mean, I went to school in the UK, which helps.
Yeah. So you already had been to college?
No, I essentially the last 2 years of school in the UK, sixth form, are the equivalent to the first 2 years of U.S. college education. So.
Okay, so you had
then I had a third year, and then I had a third year. So I don't have a degree, but I have a lot of college credits.
Got it.
So and now I don't need to bother.
Yeah. So you went to boot camp. You sustained some kind of injuries.
Yeah, some kind of nerve injury. I still don't know what it is to this day. I've had it looked at and whatever, and it didn't disqualify me from trying again. So I just had issues with sort of the first few weeks of basic training. So they held me back for a few weeks.
Okay.
And then I waited until I healed up and got a good sign off, good to go, and I went back, and no problems the second time.
How was boot camp for you?
I mean, so long ago, right? I think I mean, obviously the first few weeks were tough because I was like, my arm's not working. I can't do a push-up, right?
Right.
It's just like you can't do a push-up. You're in basic training. Like that's kind of the point of basic training. But yeah, once I got and actually saw like a doctor was like, yeah, there's an issue here. Like we need to like look into it. Then it was smooth sailing for me. I basically fit in.
And did you find camaraderie there amongst the
I did.
guys? Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Fit in. That's good.
I think one of the most fascinating things about sort of indoctrination to the military is, you get, because I wasn't from, like my father was in the Navy, but like I didn't really know much about the military. But once I got in, once I was sort of brought into the military culture and started to understand it, I've always felt sort of, I find that in institutional environments now, and this goes with prison as well, and jails and being houseless as well. I find that in institutional environments, I find that I bond with people very quickly, and I sort of start to learn sort of the, rules, expectations, roles that you sort of fit in these kinds of environments. Sometimes harsh environments, and yeah, I make friends very quickly. I make connections very quickly. I develop trust and rapport with people very quickly. So yeah, I felt throughout my time in the military, I felt close to people.
I can relate to that. I did too.
Yeah.
Because I did the army in Israel, and in boot camp, I remember like getting really close group of friends.
Yeah, you're around each other 12, 14 hours a day.
And it's like people who maybe outside of it you would never become friends, but when you're put in that situation, you kind of like develop that bond.
Yeah, it's a bond that's hard to describe.
Yeah.
Like sort of camaraderie or kinship.
I guess the reason I asked is because you were living as a gay man. I wasn't sure how the Army was accepting of that. Were you closeted at the time?
I was.
You just kind of don't ask, don't tell?
Don't ask, don't tell at this time. I mean, it was sort of, I would say 2008, before I went over into Iraq in 2009, I would say that I started to become more aware of the idea that there might be a period of time in which there isn't a don't ask, don't tell, in which I don't have to hide this from my, because it seems silly to like hide something that everybody knew.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was not as serious in 2008 as it was in the 90s.
Got it,
That was my sense, and I was in a non sort of combat role.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like
yeah.
I wasn't a dart kicker. I was
Yeah.
a number cruncher.
Yeah.
So I got the sense that that I was pretty, and and this is the intelligence field at least in our unit, we were 60% female. So like this is again
Oh, is that
not
right?
infantry. This is
Interesting.
not ground pounder type.
So most of your colleagues, when you went to Iraq and actually started doing the analyzing, were women.
Yes, it was it was
Interesting.
it was primarily like women were the majority in my office.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I got the sense that nobody cared.
Well, that's
That's
great.
interesting.
But trans stuff was a different matter.
Okay.
I started that, and that started to kick in for me while I was deployed. I was like, because I was doing things like cross dressing and trying to explore this new thing quite a bit more, and that was a bit more difficult.
I see.
You couldn't get around that. That one was not.
People were not understanding.
Yeah,
of
and
that.
I think that was where I started to feel more of frustration and more sort of distance and more alienation.
I think during around that time, it's funny you go, well, being homosexual is more accepted, understood, and I think at the same time, this issue of being trans was probably a really new conversation, and
Yeah.
I don't think people. I think we've
Yeah.
come a long way. I think there's like insane amounts of transphobia in the world. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, well,
But,
I often
yeah.
have to remind people, like in 2010, like nobody was talking about this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You-
then I
totally.
came out of prison in 2017, and it's like the main issue that people want to talk about. And now in 2022, like I just want people to shut up about it.
Really?
Please leave us alone. We do not do we I mean, whenever, of course, they're like, oh yeah, you want to recruit people. Well, guess what? Yeah, I kind of do. I'm coming for you.
Oh yeah, we're coming for your
yeah,
kids.
we're coming coming for you. We're gonna.
They're
yeah,
gonna
that's
quote
be
you on
clipped,
that.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on Fox News.
Yeah, yeah. Guess what? We are.
Chelsea
we are
Manning
recruiting- I mean,
is-
and this goes back to Harvey Milk. Like Harvey Milk. Like his whole pitch. Running for supervisor in San Francisco was, my name is Harvey Milk, and I'm here to recruit you. So yeah, my
There
name
you
is Chelsea Manning, and I'm here to recruit you.
There you go. Well, it's a glamorous lifestyle, and everybody loves you for being trans.
Yeah,
it's
and you
hard.
get and you
Everyone-
get you get to take these nice pretty pills. Yeah.
So okay, so we're in boot camp. Things are going pretty good. And then, how long are you in boot camp, and then you get before you get deployed to Iraq?
Oh, I wasn't. I mean, boot camp is a Navy term. Just
Okay.
It's a Navy and Marine Corps term.
What do you
What
call
is it in
It's basic training.
Basic training.
Yeah.
Basic training. Got
Basic. Yeah. Little terminology correction there for the military gruff nerds,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But yeah, so I actually spent about a year with my unit in upstate New York, Fort Drum, New York. That was what I was attached to, and I just did like watch the Canadian border type stuff. Just make sure that Canadians aren't invading.
They don't get in here, damn it.
Yeah. So our mission was Homeland Security. That was
I see.
our role for a year, and then we went and we're actually supposed to go to Afghanistan in December 2009. We were originally slated to go to Afghanistan, but the Obama administration shifted over a few units and moved things around to cause a surge in Afghanistan. Leading into 2010 and 2011, so it was a shift of resources from Iraq, which was drawing down, and moving to Afghanistan.
Got it.
So we actually got bumped up on the calendar to, I think, September or October of 2009, and then we had our theater change. So then we had all this work that I had done for a year pre-deployment for Afghanistan was thrown away. And it's like, hey, oh, just kidding. Like, you're going to Iraq, and you're going to Iraq like in 3 months. So.
So how does that happen? They're like, hey, just someone comes and they're like, all right, you have 3 months and we're going to Iraq.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
big. This is big thing in the military or the army called the patch chart. It's like where the big divisions and brigade combat teams are, and at least in this time frame. And so you would see like the patches of the different units
I
and
see.
And the numbers, and it would be like in different points of time and where they were, and it would be shifted over. But yeah, you would check the patch chart if you wanted to know when you were deploying it. Only certain people even knew like the time frame. It was like the troop movements tend to be secret. So.
When you're in the army, do you go back home every weekend, or how does it
Like
work?
overseas?
Not
at the
overseas,
base.
That 1 year.
Yeah, I went at home for the weekend. I mean, I lived upstate New York, which it was a drive down to Maryland. It's
Right.
It's not too far.
Right.
Like 5-6 hours. So yeah, I could do. We had for 3 or 4 day weekends. We had weekend passes. I on multiple occasions definitely violated the 75-mile rule.
You can't leave. You can't go within 75 miles.
Yeah, you can't go. You can't leave 75 miles of base, at least at Fort Drum, in 2009. And I did. I went down to Maryland for the weekend sometimes.
Why is that? Just for Army readiness?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's 50. I think it's typically 50 miles for most bases. But.
Yeah. So you get deployed to Iraq. Are you nervous to go? I mean,
I'm
it's a big
excited.
deal. You're excited.
I'm excited.
You
'cause
want to work. You want to.
Yeah, like I enlisted obviously
Yeah.
with the intention of the troop search and being involved in that, and it just sort of didn't pan out that I was going to be there. But I was excited. I was ready to do my job. I was super happy, thrilled to finally do what I had trained to do, what I was preparing to do, what I'd spent a year of my life preparing for, in terms of doing my work and being very prepared for it, and genuinely being excited. And I hit the ground running, really.
That's interesting. So, by the way, how do they fly you over there? Do they have their own chartered Army planes?
Yeah. So
you do. I see sometimes
yeah.
they fly just coach.
Yeah, basically they just take like a Delta plane, and they just they're like.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they contract out like airlines, and just say like the pilots are Delta or
Really?
United or American Airlines, and then the stewardess or the flight attendants are that as well, and it's just like, and then it's just us with our right.
So it's all military.
The whole plane, yeah.
And you still get
And the officers get the first class upstairs.
that's
Of course.
And they still serve you peanuts and all that stuff and what? It's like a normal
Yep.
flight.
Yeah, it's a normal flight except you have rifles.
Wow, that's very interesting.
I
Those are the
actually
legal-
have a picture. I have this funny picture that I have even to this day where I took a picture of it was my it was my M16 or my M4, and my M4 is just like sitting there with like the optic, and it's sitting in my chair, and it's like like in like a plane. I'm just like, TSA is really letting their guard down.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we land in Iraq.
Do you go with your team from before, or is at that point?
We were split up a little bit to
I
shift
see.
everything over.
Some people, yes.
Yeah, so like there's like the torch party, and then there's like the pre-party, and then there's the main body, and then there's the stragglers. Yeah.
I see. So you land, and then like how quickly do you have to like a big travel to go to your new base? Do you,
Yeah. And it was like very, very movie, right? You get into a C-130, and then you get off of the C-130, you go into, you're processed in. And
what's a
then-
C-130, like a armored vehicle?
No, C-130 is C-130 rolling down the strip. It's a plane.
Oh, it's a
the
plane.
it's the airborne plane. It's the plane that people jump out of.
Is that the one that Biden was in, Dan?
I think it was the C-17.
Oh. Okay, so
No,
you
here.
land at the airport, you get on a new plane
One of these big
and fly.
ones.
Oh, okay. This with the I see.
Wait, is that a C-130? Yeah, that's a C-130.
It's like open on the side.
Yeah, some of those are AC-130s, which those are the ones that have they actually have like a howitzer like on the side that shoots.
It's like a big cargo
Right.
plane for people to parachute out of. But
You-
obviously
did-
you didn't do that.
No, we didn't.
You didn't jump out of it. Yeah.
No, we didn't jump out of it, but yeah, we landed, but it was a combat landing, so it's like your stomach goes up into your chest.
What does that mean?
It's like,
It's like you're on a roller coaster, like woo.
Oh, really?
Going,
That
'cause,
intense?
yeah, it's like straight down.
oh my god.
They're doing that to like evade.
Yeah, because
I see.
it's a war zone.
I see. So just to lessen their descent area.
Really?
Wow, interesting.
But yeah, and then we took a helicopter out to our remote base in east of Baghdad, eastern Baghdad.
Interesting.
Wow.
So it was remote. Was there like a military presence, or was it kind of a secret thing?
The base?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was remote. It was Hammer, which is 30 kilometers east of the main part of eastern Baghdad. So nothing around. Just
If you're
the
just
base around it.
crunching numbers, why the remote base?
For the drawdown, one of the agreements for the drawdown was to reduce the number of bases and
Oh,
positions
I
in the
see.
cities.
I see. So you were part of a dwindling force
Yes.
of U.S. military.
Yeah, we were going home
I
essentially
see.
at
I
this
see.
time.
Was that odd for you to be flying into Iraq as everyone's leaving?
Well, no, because it wasn't clear that we were leaving at that time. So there was a debate about it. Like, obviously, part of the drawdown was leave the cities. Obama had said that, he had set a timetable. It was actually the Bush administration's timetable for leaving, for the withdrawal, which then became Obama's timetable.
Right.
And so, it looked like we might be, but we also were hedging, sort of like, okay, what if we need to bring back more? I remember there was still construction going on.
Okay.
Even while we were talking about leaving.
So very much 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
So you're stationed here. So how many people are you basically stationed with?
Wow. I think it was, I don't remember the numbers, but it was at least 1,500 in the base.
Well, how many people did
Whoa.
you have like an immediate working with? Is that big to you? 1,500?
Sounds like a
Seven.
lot.
Yeah, it was medium sized.
Yeah.
But yeah, U.S. military is big.
Yeah, I mean, my base had maybe like 40 people. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did it
That was
really
the number
have
of people in my
40?
office.
It was very small.
That was the number of people in my office, like 40.
The number of people, and they were all analysts, or they're doing all kinds of different stuff.
Analysts, yeah, different roles.
Is your work collaborative, or is it kind of just like a solo wolf stuff?
We were work group style, baby. We were doing the Silicon Valley working group.
Interesting.
Yeah, in that time we were doing the lean office type environment
Interesting.
where rotating roles and like you would have different roles at different times. It doesn't make a lot of sense because like the rest of the military is very hierarchy, right? It's just like you have a captain who has a first sergeant who has a staff sergeant
Yeah.
or a math or some like a or some sergeant or whatever who goes down to the corporal and goes down to the privates, right? And no, it was not like that. It was very fluid. Everybody sort of had their different positions and roles. It was a bit more horizontal and a bit more fluid in terms of like the actual work because it's a bottom-up sort of structure. The intelligence work is stuff that comes in and then is brought up and presented to the staff officers.
Interesting.
The staff officers being your commander, their XO, their administrative officer, their intelligence officer, their operations officer, their supply officer, et cetera. Legal.
Okay, so you're basically working with a bunch of analysts, and basically, at what point do you start thinking like, start having kind of like gender?
Why this
identity stuff?
has been ongoing. This has never stopped.
But you had mentioned that it got really bad when you were deployed in.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, it was definitely becoming more marked and more of a significant sort of thing as I was, and then it continued on because like, we're not going to get into the 2010 leaks themselves, but we started it. But so I got arrested obviously for a big leak, which the contents of which I cannot discuss.
Sure.
Under non-disclosure agreement existing to this day from
Yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
Which has made writing a book very difficult, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Getting it through the publication process has caused a significant amount of delay. We did go to the government for permission because we don't want to get sued out into oblivion.
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
And unlike someone like Edward Snowden, who lives in Russia, I live in the United States and I have to pay taxes.
Right.
I've got the IRS, so I can't play around. So yeah, we've been very careful with sort of writing the book, but yeah, by the time I got into the prison system, it was clear. Like I was like, yes, this is
That's when you
this is important to me. I'm trans.
Interesting.
I know what I need. But by that time, the lawyers had basically written it off as like too late for me to sort of like seek that. But I didn't give up, and so I went through this long court-martial process, and basically I waited until after that court-martial process because it was just so intensive. Because it was literally a year. It was a 3.5-year long process through the court system. The military court system.
Our dog just did a big old puke.
Nice. That's a good. That's some chunks.
Yeah, he has a puking problem. He pukes all the time. Poor boy.
Aw.
So something striking about your story is actually you were the first military person to undergo like hormone therapy and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's very interesting.
Yeah, at least with approval. People have been taking like this.
First acknowledged person by the military.
Especially guys taking extra testosterone.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Okay, of course, yeah.
But and there have been trans. I remember there's actually a story of a trans person who enlisted in the military, and just while going through a unit transition, just said that there was a gender marker mistake in their paperwork, and then somebody just like clicked a button and they just got it done.
Wow.
And they got away with it for like a year.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Wow.
So, for example, do you get like they have like the male uniform and the female uniform?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's
very gendered existence.
Was that difficult for you at the time there, or you weren't?
In prison, it became very important, like for the prison to enforce. And we were, I had the American Civil Liberties Union, Chase Strangio, fantastic attorney and a fantastic advocate to this day on trans issues, fighting lots and lots of legal battles, all the way up to the Supreme Court in some cases, on a regular basis, including many of these like bullshit laws that keep getting proposed and passed in like the state houses. But yeah, he was my attorney, and we like fought on all these different nitpicky little regulations and things to get.
That's
access
incredible
here.
what you.
One of the things that we never won on until I was released, and it was the day that I released was like the day that I stopped cutting my hair because they did not let up on the hair. They're like, you can get hormones, we can give you makeup. We can give you all these different things. We can give you all these.
But not the hair?
But hair, no. They just did not want to relent on hair.
Well, women in the military can grow their hair, right?
Yeah.
And so I wonder why.
AR-670-1, baby.
Oh, is that the code?
That's the
the code? Is there like a length regulation?
Yeah, there's a whole regulation.
Yeah.
It changes every.
So why
years.
do you think it was that they were stuck on that one? Yeah.
We have no idea.
Interesting.
It's all they had to do was do a one-page exception to policy, and they just would not relent.
I would think makeup would be more of a.
So that's what we thought.
Right.
We're like,
yeah.
We expected to not get makeup and to get hair.
Get the hair. Do you think it was a spite thing or just a weird bureaucracy thing?
I don't know. Maybe they're worried about court cases and sort of because they have a prison system. Military has a prison system, and I think they might have been worried about different religious groups in prison wanting their hair exceptions approved.
Okay, they thought maybe it was
if they
a
allow
worms,
one,
so
then
yeah. Okay.
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't so much spite with me as spite against like a whole host of different groups of people.
I see. Just general spite. So I want to ask you more about your time in Iraq, but feel free if I ask a question that you can't answer, just let me know. And I'll
yeah,
pass
I mean,
it.
just like it's just dark. It's this dark period of time, and now it's even darker.
It is. Why?
I mean, I feel like I feel like the U.S. is the U.S. is going through it's going through some things. It's going through a time period. And actually my whole life experience, everything was like I went from like 2010 and being like free and out. That was the last time that I was like free and out before I went into the
prison?
Well, not even that. Like deployed, returning to my deployment, and then going to prison, and then coming out in 2017, and it was like I was like, oh shoot, stuff is about to go down here. Like that vibe, like it was immediate. Like I went through like a 3 or 4 day cool down period, kind of like just sort of like getting a sense of like, okay, like, because I remember the first time I looked at an iPhone. Right, it's not that I didn't know how to use it. It was like my brain was like fried by the sort of instant like deluge of information from it, and like even like the sort of super small pixels on the screen just sort of like we're like, wow, this is like making my eyes hurt. So actually, like I needed like a cool down period of like a few days. But yeah, as soon as I got out, I was like, oh, this is different. The vibe is different. The vibes are off. It was sort of the boiling frog is the sense that I got. It was like, this is a like, because like Trump had been elected the year before. There was the whole election cycle before that. You know, this was post-Occupy, post-Ferguson. You know, the militarization of the police, the sort of rise of right-wing extremism. Charlottesville happened only a few weeks after.
Yeah, that was a dark time.
And I had friends who you know were out there protesting.
So you went into prison. Obama was president. You came out. Trump was president.
Yeah.
So that was probably.
Yeah, and my actually one of the most alarming parts of my whole life story is the fact that like I spent Obama commuted me at the end of his term. But he commuted me to time served plus 120 days. So I had 117 days of the Trump administration. I was like, oh boy.
You thought he might fuck with you?
I mean, it hadn't happened, but this was definitely
scary.
Unprecedented.
Well, you were facing your full term was like 35 years, right?
Yeah, it was 35 years. I got sentenced to 35 years. So I got 28 years like cut off.
Wow. And but also the thought of facing down another 28 years if Trump decided to try to do something.
Well, yeah, I was like, and I honestly, till the day I was released, like the morning that I was like in upstate New York, like, okay, I'm out. I was like, this isn't happening.
Right.
That's crazy.
And I remember that, like, I remember I went through this whole process and actually needed therapy over this, which was like, sort of like, because like when you're given a 35-year sentence.
Yeah.
And you've had time to digest that. 7 years is pretty hefty amount of time.
Oh yeah.
When you've had time to digest that, you're like, okay,
this is it.
This is happening. You write all that off in your brain. So like the idea that I was going to be let out and be like, be opening up a credit card, you know, opening up a credit card balance or buying or renting an apartment or paying bills, just unfathomable.
Weird, surreal.
Yeah, just so far. It was so far away that I just didn't even think about it, or didn't even worry about it, and I just wrote it off. And then to have that be returned to me was actually a shock to my system. And that I think is, in my opinion, that's sort of the definition of institutionalization, is whenever you have accepted sort of that, like most of your adult life is written off.
Right.
You have plenty of time to, screw around in prison and play video, or play Dungeons and Dragons and dice games.
Is that what you did in prison?
I did, yes.
Oh, doesn't sound that bad when you put it that way.
Did you have good friends? Like
I did. Yeah, I had a lot of friends in prison. Institutional environment, you develop camaraderie, make friends.
Yeah.
I connected really well with the people that I was there with. We had one very simple and important rule in prison, which was don't ask anybody what the crime is and don't look into it.
Oh, for real? You don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Because it makes things a lot smoother and a lot easier when you don't know.
Oh, that's real interesting. But everyone probably knew who you were, right?
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Were you given a chance to wrap things up, say goodbye?
No, I was.
Yeah, to your fellow prisoners?
It was immediate, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they took me. They're like, we're not like.
But you knew the day was coming.
I knew the day was coming, but they put me in a separate unit immediately.
When the community.
Yeah, they saw it on TV. Like the prison staff saw it on TV. Like it's in my book, like a whole story about it. But like they saw it on TV and they're like, oh, you're going. We're putting you aside.
Why'd they do that?
I think they just didn't want anything bad to happen to me in the meantime. Like anything.
Interesting.
An injury in the workshop.
If only Epstein's prison guards were as careful with
him
as they were with you.
Oh yeah, it's super suspicious.
That's pretty interesting.
Super suspicious. I have opinions on this.
Okay.
Actually, somebody who's been incarcerated in both the military and the federal and the.
And I mean, you were a high priority prisoner, but Jeffrey Epstein was a very high priority prisoner.
Yeah.
We can do an aside here. What do you think about that whole thing about how
murder?
Yeah, murder. You do.
That's how a prison murder happens. I know when it happens. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say like some of the sad stories from prison where we know bad stuff happened because like it's like how do you prove it as an inmate? But and some of these stories are in my book, but yeah, like definitely.
Because it's like
super, like it's definitely like, oh yeah, I'm just like that's suspicious.
the cameras were off.
That's
the
how you do
guards
it.
Weren't
That's
on.
how you do it. If you
You've
want
seen
to,
it
if you want to get rid of
happen.
somebody in prison, that's how you do it.
The guards do that kind of thing.
That's all they do.
They
Really?
just fuck with people.
Yeah, they fuck with people. I mean,
Are they sick?
imagine this. Imagine you're sitting there and your job is to watch inmates for 12 hours.
Mhm.
And you're just sitting there
bored.
tossing your piece of paper or whatever. Like, of course you're gonna screw with us. Like we're like, and we're not, and like nobody listens to inmates. Nobody, I want to say this real fast because I'm really passionate about this, and that is, I've been asked a lot. People often ask me a lot, was it scary being in prison, or how are people in prison? And I just gotta say this, time and time again, the most violent and dangerous people in prison, without question, were prison guards every single time, and this was military, civilian, state, federal, just endless amounts of fear and anxiety of the arbitrariness and the sort of lack of of consistent expectations of what a CO or a prison guard or somebody who's watching or a correctional officer of any variety was going to do, and the senior staff as well, and it's like it haunts me to this day because like I don't associate like somebody who's like in a prison uniform with like a threat, whereas like I see somebody like in a CO uniform and I'm like, ooh,
You have a little trauma left over.
oh yeah, definitely,
So sad.
Do you think it attracts sickos who like power?
absolutely.
That's what it is.
And it's even worse than being in some respects. I think it's actually worse than being like a regular cop because at least a regular cop gets to like carry a gun, right? They're sort of like the second thought, like they're the sort of like afterthought sort of cops, right?
Was there any kind of was there normal prison guards, or was it just an accepted culture of like these are our objects to fuck with and do what we want?
I would say that it's a rule of thirds, which is pretty consistent with what I've seen in other institutions. So there are the prison guards who are goody two shoes. They care about their job. They really they really think that they're doing they're doing a service or whatever.
And they're fair to you guys, the
And
prisoners.
they try to be fair.
Okay.
That's a high attrition rate. That's a fast turnover rate.
Right,
of those
makes
people.
sense. Yeah.
Then there's there's the prison guards who look the other way at the bad apples, right?
Okay.
They're like, I'm just doing a job. I'm cutting a paycheck. I hear no evil, see no evil.
They're not
I'm-
sadistic. They're just here to work.
Right, but if they see something that's sketchy, they will look the other way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then there's the people who are absolutely sadistic. They will do the worst kinds of things. They will play games. They will lie. They will cheat. They will steal. They're
Wow.
just and they get away with
Third
it,
is
and
a
nobody will
lot.
question. And then it's the other. And then the worst part is that other third of people
Of
who look
looking
the other way,
away, yeah.
just don't do anything, and they don't say anything.
So when there's like a really sick prison guard, does anything ever happen to them? Ever?
Very rarely. I've never seen it. I've only ever seen people retaliated against for reporting it too, and that includes other COs.
Other guard? Well, that happens in the police as well. Just
Yeah,
normal
it's the same.
police.
It's the same. The blue wall of silence kind of thing is
What was the
universal.
most effed up thing that you saw a prison guard do to
It's
you?
in my book.
Okay.
It's
How about the second
dark.
most then?
Second darkest thing. Second darkest thing that I've seen in prison guards do. It's not one thing, but like there's just neglect of people with mental health issues, right?
Wow.
People say a person having a mental health crisis saying I'm having a dark time. I'm not doing so good right now. I need to see somebody, and the just absolute like disgust or disregard, and then placing that person in a more dangerous situation, right? Putting them in a cell alone with with sort of like bootlaces or something, right?
They're like, do it,
Yeah, they're
essentially.
and then whenever somebody follows through with it, they're just like, oh well, we didn't know, and like, the
Whoa,
cameras weren't
that's
on.
so sick.
Yeah,
They-
it's just extremely dark.
Wow.
They really see you as some other things, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Not
we're-
human,
yeah.
subhuman.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of what society's taught us, right?
Yeah.
Because like law, it's the law and order effect, right? In my mind, because like we have this very pop culture understanding of the justice system, right? Which is a crime takes place, an offender or a suspect is arrested, a prosecutor builds a case with the detectives or the officers or whatever, and then it goes to trial, and then there's sort of a trial process which never really actually happens with plea deals. And then after the trial, somebody goes to jail, and that's the end of the story, right? That's the end of the story. But for that person, typically, that's not the end of the story. It's years and years and years of the rest of their lives.
Right.
People grow, people change, people really do change, and it doesn't take that long. It takes maybe, especially if you're in your 20s, it doesn't, 5 years in your 20s is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of like of your personality and you're sort of changing. So you would, and I've seen this a lot where somebody who is like a terrible person will like become like a really like stable, reasonable person like within a 3 to 4 year period of time, right? And so we sort of forget that about people because of this pop culture thing, and even with like justice reform advocates, I have this problem because like they're very focused on like the at the scene police brutality type stuff, right? Which is awful, right? It's like murdering. It's like murdering of people, murdering of houseless people, the abuse of people, not taking people of color or immigrants at their word whenever they say that they've been abused or they've been harassed or that that they've been falsely accused of something. Like there a lot of criminal justice aspects focus on that, but they forget that we have 2 million people, and we have like I think it's over
Almost
2 million.
a whole percent.
Yeah, it's like 25% of the world's prison population is in the United States,
Yeah.
and often voiceless, often not unseen, often forgotten about, even by people who really do care and really do want to focus on these issues because of just sort of the way we've sort of focused on stuff. Because we focus on stuff because we can see whenever there's police brutality that happens on a cell phone camera. We can see when that happens. But when it happens in a prison, there's no cell phone.
Yeah, I think the prison system is one of the most, in America now, it's one of the biggest problems we have as a society. I mean, the way that it's privately owned, that there's a financial interest in keeping people in prison for as long as possible.
Absolutely.
And also there's a profit motive, so like the conditions are going to be horrible.
Yeah, the prison industrial complex.
It's just it's a fucking nightmare. It really is.
Yeah.
And like nonviolent offenders in prison, I mean, it's just fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It's hard to bridge that gap when you don't get to see what goes on there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that
how do you go to battle over something you don't see?
And as much as I have solidarity with people, like I remember 2020 with George Floyd, with the George Floyd protest and Breonna Taylor protest, like I felt this affinity and the solidarity with them. But like it's also don't forget about people in prison because we don't have cameras in prison. We can't take our own cell phone photos or videos. This stuff happens.
The revolution.
I've seen this stuff with my own eyes, and you have to believe me that this happened.
It seems also that people are just getting. Do you think in general people are getting over sentenced? They're going to prison for too long. You said that you could change in 5 years.
Yeah.
You think? I mean, 35 years is insane, almost for any crime. Do you?
Yeah. I'm a very different person than I was at 22. Very different.
Yeah, I mean, 22, you're still a kid. In all honesty,
Yeah, when I came out of prison, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like way different.
You still have a chance to also build a life. I feel like where if you are released after 35 years, what happens with you then?
I mean, it's the end of Shawshank.
Institutionalized.
Shawshank Redemption,
exactly.
right? The characters who like. I'm not gonna lie. The first time that I heard about that I was getting out of prison, I was actually scared.
That was your first reaction?
It wasn't my first reaction, but like there was a couple days when I started to absorb that this is a possibility, and I was like, I don't know. Like I'm scared because what's changed, what's different, it was like an overwhelming thought, and this was only after 7 years, right? Imagine somebody who's never held a cell phone before.
Yeah.
Who's spent 30, 40 years in prison. I mean, and you know what I've now had a chance to meet people that have spent many decades in prison and be released, and they are, you know, after a couple of years, the adaptiveness of humans is pretty incredible. But the fear and the anxiety that comes with being released from prison for the first time is very real, and it's very and it sticks with you for a while. It lingers, you know. And I'm still in therapy, you know, for dealing with institutionalization. I'm still in therapy for sort of dealing with the consequences of spending such a large amount of time in like a hostile institutional environment. So yeah, you know, it's very much still a part of my, you know, the difficulty that I have with, you know, developing, you know, long-term relationships and friendships and things, because, you know, like, you know, both in prison and in the military, you know, like I knew who had my back and I knew what tomorrow brought, and now out here I don't. I don't know who to trust, and I don't know if somebody's putting on a front because I'm not with them 14 hours a day, like, you know, and I don't know if they have my back. I don't know who's like, I know the prison guard's going to be unfriendly, but I know that like that this group of inmates here is going to have my back or whatever, and I don't have that out here. I'm not sure quite how far people are going to, you know, look out for me, or who's going to be like out and against me in a few weeks or a few months. And I don't know what tomorrow brings. You know, I'm switching from time zone to time zone. I'm going from city to city. Whereas like I always knew I was going to be in Oscar 227, right? My cell, Oscar 227 in Oscar housing unit, right, for, you know, years.
Were you were out? Are you kind of living as a trans person in prison? Were the guards and the prisoners accepting of that as well?
I would say the inmates are pretty accepting. I think
really
the prison guards were. I think the prison guards were a little weirded out by it, but they got used to it. But I think I'm just like a force of will. Like I'm just like a force of energy, like in terms of my personality. So I really, you know, I'm very sociable, and I'm really like engaged with people, and I'm very extroverted. So I just got to, you know, like if I encountered somebody who, you know, had reservations or hesitations about it, I would just be like, all right, let's play some basketball or something, like, you know, like just see how I am, like, you know, judge for yourself.
That's very interesting, though. It seems like throughout your military and prison experience, where you would expect people to be kind of more traditional or masculine, that they were accepting of either your gayness or your transness.
Yeah, I think that military people, at least in that time frame, get a bit of a bad rap, you know, in terms of like.
That's encouraging.
Yeah,
at least.
I mean,
That's
or
nice
maybe
to
I'm
hear.
just so, or maybe I'm just so skewed in my mentality that I see, you know, that I haven't really encountered it, you know, or I don't see it as much because, like, you know, like but yeah, like when I see it happen to somebody else, though, I get defensive.
Yeah,
You know, but I think that I'm not as I don't nearly take things as personally, and I try to, you know, if somebody's like transphobic to me, in a prison environment, and I want to be specific, like the context here. If somebody's transphobic to me, I'm just like, okay, bring it. Like, what's your issue here? Like, I'm very upfront about it, and it doesn't always work, but usually they start to warm up, and they start to be like, okay, like you're different, you know, which is still an element of transphobia in my mind. It doesn't mean that they're not a transphobic person, but I've had to deal with people like that, and you know, I can see that there's like some ice breaking that happens because we're in an environment like that. Now out here, it's a different story.
Yeah, I want to go back to Iraq.
Yeah.
So, basically, how long were you working at that base until, I guess, like up until you started kind of like leaking stuff? Like, how long were you working there?
Yeah, so I was, I think it was January, February 2010 was the time frame. It's all in my testimony, which I testified to the things in trials, so there's specific things that I've been told that went through the government process that I can say. And so I refer people to the January, I think it was January 29th, 2013 testimony, because anything outside of that range, in fact, have to go through government approval.
Wow,
to
is that
reveal.
part of But
because yeah, I was an intelligence analyst.
well, what do they risk? What are you risking? Them just suing you? Because you've already
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could sue me.
They could sue you.
Oh, and here's the fun part.
Because you've already gone to jail for like leaking.
Right, but the same non-disclosure agreement doesn't end. So if I were to violate it again,
Oh, you're
You'd
still
go back?
interesting. Back. Oh,
it
I
doesn't
see,
end.
I see. I see.
It,
I see.
so it ends either whenever the U.S. government says that that this information has been approved and it's declassified, which we're getting
Wow.
closer to.
Oh, really? So you could be released potentially from this NDA,
Yeah, well,
or somewhat.
It's sometime in my lifetime, or if the United States dissolves for some reason.
One or the other.
Yeah. So
Well, I'll wait. I can't wait to talk to you on that day.
I mean, oh yeah, it's gonna be an interesting day. I'm gonna have a lot to say. There's a lot of missing pieces of the story.
So let me just try to ask what I can. So you're working there. Let me ask this, a more personal question. What was there something specifically
No,
that happened where you're like, I need to whistleblow?
no. I think it was it was me dealing with the sort of cognitive dissonance of me being. I was a puppy, right? I was like wet behind the ears, kind of very naive, really truly believing my job and my role.
Mm-hmm.
Encountering the reality and sort of the, having a, it's like training day, right? You sort of,
Right.
like Denzel Washington like pulls you aside and and walks you through
Smoke
like,
this crack.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
like smoke this PCP, right?
Oh, yeah.
And like that was the gradual process that I went through, which was like, okay, like here's the reality, here the on the ground reality and what you've been told are completely different. And I felt, I felt upset.
You felt like maybe misled?
Oh yeah, I felt very misled. I felt very misled by media, by our institutions. By our political
I
institutions.
bet a lot of soldiers feel that.
I'm not gonna speak for a lot of veterans, but like I certainly have encountered friends and people that I know that.
One sec. We lost power? Are we still live? Oh,
okay.
because the TV went out.
Yeah.
And the AC too at the same time.
CIA.
Yeah.
Not this
Coming
part.
for you.
No, sometimes our power
Hold up.
sometimes explodes
saying
during
too
the
much.
AC season. Okay, but we're still live, Dan? So
They're coming.
so there was there like a growing kind of resentment just over time when you're like, this is I
No,
don't feel
I
like
wouldn't say resentment.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, like the institutions that I felt the most, that I cared about the most, that I lost a lot of faith in, especially because like I first went to the Washington Post and the New York Times. Everybody knows the big W word. But those were not my first places.
you don't say the W
No,
word?
yeah.
You don't even say that word.
Well, it's just, yeah. What was that big?
What
Yeah,
was that?
Are we dying? Are we? Is America dissolving?
They are really coming for us.
Yeah.
What was that though? For real?
It sounded
Oh,
like
something
it.
Wait, there's nothing upstairs. There's no upstairs.
So, yeah, they really are coming
What?
after
You're
us.
saying too much.
All right. Well,
No, so
all right. My security people are coming. I'm kidding.
they're actually
I see
they're
somebody looking
landing.
out the window. Kim.
There's a
Still Team 6.
yeah, exactly. There's a Black Hawk upstairs dropping. So it was you. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
interested by that. You went
yeah,
to the New York Times. You went to the Washington
But
Post.
media institutions,
Yeah.
I think let me down the most. I remember specifically there was like a Tom Friedman article
Yes,
that came out during the election in Iraq.
he's an editorial
He-
for the New York Times, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he basically like just pretended away the last like 7 years of civil conflict of.
Was that the roof again?
That was I felt that boom in my.
What is
fucking-
going on, guys?
That-
That sounded like a potential firework.
Yeah,
Oh,
that sounded like a
firework?
to me.
Oh, it's the dissolution of America.
Good vibes.
Wait, fireworks? Why?
No, I felt that in my feet.
Why are
That's
people-
a good indication that the vibrations are coming through the ground. So just a heads up.
Oh, you felt it in your feet?
Yeah, I felt it in my feet.
So
I feel
why
that,
is
right?
why are people blowing up
What is
fireworks? Can
this?
someone look outside and see
Yeah,
what's
we
going on?
looked outside.
Is this address public?
What?
No.
No.
No, it's not. We're not. This is not
Azan's
normal.
No. Yeah, we've never had any issues like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but I was interested. So go ahead about Thomas Friedman. I was a captive.
I'm curious. Did you
Yeah.
finish your term, or was this happening while?
Well, yeah, I was in jail for a long time, so I yeah, I finished. I finished up to the. I was in the ending part of my enlistment. So,
Okay.
But that got extended by prison.
Got it.
So what was it that Thomas Friedman wrote?
Thomas Friedman wrote an article about sort of, I guess that, there are free and fair elections in Iraq now, which is a question mark on the ground, and that this has made the Iraq invasion justified, even though the WMD stuff, which I didn't really have a huge opinion on like anything up to like 2004. I don't really have strong opinion on because I actually don't know anything prior to 2004. In terms of like all of that discussion, and I was in high school. I was like middle school, high school at the time. So, but my understanding of sort of the insurgency and the counterinsurgency and how that played out was this brutal. It was like there was an ethnic cleansing going on between Sunnis and Shias. There's sort of like a ratcheting up of political rhetoric across the political spectrum in Iraq. It was looked the other way. The United States government essentially picked a side and said, okay, like these people are more likely to win. They might not be better. They might not be more democratic, but and they might be using autocratic means and methods to win. But we're going to back them because they serve our security.
So can I ask you, this is the kind of stuff that was on your mind during your service?
Yeah.
I see.
I think so because
Where you're like, this place is
I believed.
fucked. We were going there to stabilize
Exactly.
and help. I mean, this country was fucked up
Yes.
because of us.
Yes. And we were making it worse. Essentially.
And I mean, you had a front seat to that more than almost
and then
anyone.
and then when I was like, well, what we're doing is not really helpful, then you get told like, well, that's not for you to decide.
And you have Thomas Friedman writing shit like that.
Yeah,
You're
and
like, what
basically,
the fuck?
manufactured.
He's doing
consent.
propaganda.
Manufactured consent at home, and one of the advantages to having all this stuff be out there, and in the way that it is out there is that you can't take it away. It is the truth. It is the reality. Take it or leave it. This is what actually happened. It was a brutal, ugly war.
Yeah, so
and
many.
we did. We did some pretty awful stuff, and on a scale of decimation and destruction that that even to this day is very rarely discussed or.
Don't they estimate that like 500,000 Iraqi civilians?
I
were
don't
killed
think
by
I don't think we'll ever know.
It's insane.
It's unfathomable.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
The amount of damage we
and,
did
and,
to that country.
And now
Well,
I just wonder why.
because
like,
there's because bro.
we didn't
sick fucks,
we didn't just
dude.
see we just
Yeah.
we didn't see Iraqis as people,
Right.
We didn't see them as people. We saw them as like
Terrorists.
as as people in a location, and it's just it's dark, and I started to feel increasingly heartbroken just seeing all this stuff and feeling and starting because like I know that I'm a very technical person. I'm a STEM lord, and I'm super into technology and math and computer science and all these other things and artificial intelligence, and I'm just doing number crunching, right? And I just couldn't do the number crunching anymore. I couldn't.
You
It
felt
was-
just
it was
exhausted.
Too much. It was
emotionally
emotionally, and I learned so much about people and the region and what was going on the ground every day that I was just like, I started to feel like a connection or an empathy or an affinity.
Did you
that
feel
you're not supposed
guilty at all?
Yeah, I feel, I talk about it more in my book, just sort of how I feel about my role, my participation.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I'm
Because
involved.
I was a true believer.
Yeah, when you got there. Did you ever have time to like befriend locals during your service there?
Yeah, I mean locals, but they're mostly Iraqi Federal Police, Iraqi Army, the FP and the IA as we call them.
By the way, I just got to say an estimate for this is civilians. These aren't even militants.
Yeah.
About 200,000
Wow.
civilians died through Iraqi civilians. I mean, that's horrific.
Unfathomable
numbers. It's horrific.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
And now we're,
and then
COVID was pretty devastating for us. So
I don't know.
Gives you a sense of
There's
the
one
numbers.
specific video that came out in the leak. Can I talk about that or no?
No, I will not get into that.
Can I talk about it without you commenting on it? Or
I would rather.
Okay,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, we're.
Never mind.
I'm trying to keep out of
Yeah.
legal problems.
Okay. All good. So, but anyway, yeah, horrific, just horrific, disgusting.
Yeah.
When you
violence.
were finding out, were you trying to like leave the army or talk to people?
That's not
like
really an
what-
option, is it?
No,
not
it wasn't
enough.
really an option. I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking
Yeah.
about it. I mostly was like thinking about like, you know, well, I wanted things to run differently and operate differently, and I tried my best to like do that in my role, in my position, as best as I could. I know that people are often confused about sort of like, you know, the cognitive dissonance that happens where you are doing an illegal act, right? And yet, in my mind, I'm still in my mind trying to do my job in a way that I've rationalized it, and that's how I was able to really rationalize this in my brain. Was like I tried to do my job, I tried to do my role, I tried to do the things that we actually set out to do and have a standard for, and I can't do this.
I have a question. You worked with like 40 other analysts. Were any of these other people disturbed by the stuff that you guys were working on, or did you feel uniquely like?
No, I don't feel that these are concerns that are unique to me.
Yeah. It's only human to see that and be like, yo, what the hell is this?
Yeah, and you know, it goes back to the prison guard conversation we were having before. The rule of thirds. Like, there's the people who try to do good. I mean, I would certainly put myself in that camp. And which is a low. I mean, that's a high attrition rate. It's a high turnover rate.
Yeah, because if you care too much, I think you just can't survive.
Yeah, and then there's the you know, the people who don't care, and then there's the sadistic, you know, people.
So in that job, you feel like if you're sadistic, you can do like a lot of harm.
I think less so in sort of the soldier role. In the soldier role of being an analyst, I don't think you have that much of an opportunity to do that. I think that door kickers had more of an opportunity, but
Absolutely.
you know, you know, as awful as things were in Iraq and Afghanistan with U.S. soldiers, and as striking as it is, you know, I'm still appalled and shocked at just what, you know, police do in the United States and what they get away with. You know, it's just shocking amounts of violence and you know, and it all comes together in my mind. You know, I don't see what happened. I don't see what happened in 2020 as like being different from what happened in Iraq in 2009, 2010. Like, I just don't. I see a common thread, which is the militarization of, you know, some people call it the boomerang effect, where, you know, you go out and you do these foreign occupations and you do you do an imperialism, and then you eventually they come home, and then you bring that mentality home with your soldiers, with your soldiers turning into cops, turning into you know, your judges, turning into your politicians, and you just bring this sort of counterinsurgency mindset home, where, you know, cops, you know, will roll through a neighborhood of, you know, of people of color, and they'll view it in the same way that as soldiers were in Iraq and Afghanistan, just sort of like rolling through a neighborhood, like looking for the enemy.
That's interesting. It's like the cost of fighting this unjust, bloody war. That's so.
Sorry to black pill you some more.
No, this is great. I mean, this is the stuff that I really want to discuss with you.
Yeah, you know, I think I was saying earlier, you know, I wore the all black because I heard you were black pill.
Yeah, the last episode with Hassan,
I
was
heard you.
complaining that I was black pill.
Yeah.
I was feeling particularly black pill.
I wanna make you feel better, if I can. Which is that I'm actually optimistic.
You are?
I am optimistic, and the reason why I say that in a dark time is not copium. I swear it's not copium. I swear it's not copium. But I have seen, like, in 2010, when I went to prison, there wasn't a lot of political activism, particularly with progressives and on the left. Then there was Occupy, which turned into, you know, protest movements in Ferguson, which turned into, you know, counter, you know, like resistance against the Trump administration, and you know, ICE and Charlottesville, which turned into the George Floyd protests of 2020. So I am seeing a groundswell of activism, awareness, education, people talking about these things. On trans issues in particular, I've also seen a lot of progress.
Listen, I think the people care.
Yeah.
I think, and that's great. I think the people of America are on whole. We're on the right, like the people care about the right things, genuinely.
Yeah.
But the government is so functionally fucked. Like, I mean, just look at, well, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to stay black-pilled. I bitch about this stuff.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah,
I actually
that's
think
good.
I actually think people.
Well, I think enough old people are gonna die off in the next. Like, I mean, genuinely, like you look at fucking.
Don't
there's
get
so many
don't
old.
get canceled
I
again.
mean, and not by me, by the way. Not by
I'm
me.
looking out for you.
Thank
Looking
you.
out for
I-
your paycheck.
I mean, they're gonna die of natural causes, not by me, right?
Yeah.
Just to be clear. But like, there's a lot of really old fucking people in Congress that just need to die of natural causes.
Stop.
In Minecraft.
I'm serious.
I know, but like
I'm not
just,
threatening
like,
them. I'm just saying it's a
Yeah.
yeah. They need to fucking die.
Oh, I think there was.
Find another way to say it.
I
How? What's their name?
I think they had.
What's her name? The 98-year-old
Yep.
who's fucking. They don't retire, Dan. They never retire. They cling to power. No. What does it matter? They're gonna die. That's life.
Speaking of, I think we got something for you.
Really?
Oh, you brought me something?
Somebody brought this to you. They asked me. to
What
bring
is
this to you.
that?
To Ethan
Some sketchy guy.
from the. What does that say?
Hey.
National. Oh, I see. You spelled it out. From the NRA. This is from the NRA. It's not a bomb. Right?
I don't know. Let's find out.
No
What's
anthrax
Do
in
you
this,
see
right?
any wires coming
All right. So wow, the NRA brought me something. This is great.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's in a
I pitched
Kleenex
in.
box. Oh, it's just Kleenex. Just tears.
Yeah.
That was-
Wipe away your liberal tears.
That was really nice. Salt. Here, I'll mail this back to them. They can smell my salty tears. I'm gonna make good use of this.
That's great.
But that wasn't for me, right? That was from the NRA.
Yeah, it was from me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like you gotta, because if I mean, being serious though, you are truly a victim of cancel culture, and I want to be
Oh, thank you.
very clear.
Actually,
Like,
thank you.
I don't know why. I don't know why they are. I mean, you, Hassan. I don't know why. Like all these people who rant and speak about freeze peach and frozen peaches all the time. Like why is it that whenever somebody says something that they have to get all up in arms? Like why do they have to cry about it?
Right. Who are we talking about? The Republicans? Because I get canceled by everyone.
Just the right.
Yeah, just the right. Yeah.
Specifically the right.
No, but they are the biggest cancelers of all. Like, I mean,
Right.
the fact that they even get to own this conversation about
They dominate all the
it's
conversations.
just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so I have more questions. Okay.
All right,
Because
serious
I'm
mode again.
I'm captivated by your story.
I found my story boring.
Really?
Yeah, because it's my story. I'm just like, all right, I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have
And-
one of the most unique life experiences
Yeah.
of anyone in modern time.
Yeah.
Oops.
You do. So let's say, you sent your stuff to the New York Times and Washington Post, and
Well, I tried to.
and as I understand it, they ignored you.
They did.
They were your first people you reached
Well,
out.
was it? Okay, so I want to be clear. Like, it's in my book. It's really complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't I was ignored so much as it was sort of a complication with sort of the discussion of how to do it safely, how to do it securely.
I see.
Um,
It was too hot for them. You think?
No, I just think that boomers, right?
Mm.
Like, hey, like this is
You're
digital.
talking about-
This is digital stuff.
You're talking specifically about getting data to them.
Right. So like
Okay.
this is 2010. This is like January 2010. And these are people who like struggle to like open their email,
Okay.
right? I think that's what was going on. It's just
That's
sort of like
incredible that they missed that.
well
Just because they
that's
couldn't
why
open
they've
a fucking
changed. That's
TV.
why I mean one of the things that happened is that both in 2010 and in 2013 there was sort of like an oh shit moment, like oh we need to
Weird.
modernize our
Interesting.
methods and sort of like how we collect information, how we deal with this stuff. And it's actually funny because and I actually get asked this a lot. They're like, oh well, you one of the things you want to talk about is government secrecy, right? And I'm just like, well, no, because like that was like a 2010 issue, right? Now we're so awash in information, and that they just will publish the awful things that they're doing, and it gets drowned out by misinformation and disinformation, and people questioning like what reality is. Like that's the biggest problem now. Is
For
sort of like
sure.
identifying what is real, because like
What should we care about? I mean,
people are living in like completely different realities, even though they're like living right next to each other.
Yeah, yeah. So were you kind of like disillusioned by the fact you're like, I have this thing, and the biggest papers in the world that I want to get this to are incapable of receiving it? I mean, was that frustrating? Was it shocking?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know,
You're like, what
it
the
would have been
fuck?
nice. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to, you know, like have a Dan Ellsberg, you know, esque, you know, like you know, meeting in a hotel room kind of thing. But you know, like, alas, this is not how things played out. You know?
And let's just
And,
say,
and I'm, you know, I got a book coming out,
Yeah.
dude. You're asking a lot of questions.
this
My
is
book-
good. This
publicity for the
this
book.
is going to get
Every-
people interested to buy the book.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you talking about whatever is only get people more interested in the book.
Well, they're
but-
gonna have to buy it to get it. I don't know if it's free. If it's pre-sale yet.
Oh,
I
if
don't know.
it's
This-
pre-sale, we
I need to talk to my publicist and figure out.
But as the things were being disseminated around the world, and there was shock around the world,
Well, I didn't know about this. I was in
so.
solitary confinement, and I was like in like a cage in
Oh, so you were
Kuwait for
you
59 days.
you were arrested by the time this became news.
By the time this became news, I was arrested. I was incarcerated,
wow.
and
So
I had
you-
no idea.
Oh.
I didn't
So
even
you
really have
didn't
access
even
to
get
a lawyer.
to see that whatever you were being busted for had meant anything.
I didn't even know that they closed off up the Deepwater Horizon spill.
That was open when you went.
Yeah, I didn't even know until months later.
So that was okay. So
And I'm a big soccer fan. I love the World Cup, and the World Cup happened, and I had no idea who played, who won, anything, no scores or anything.
So it was someone you befriended snitched on you, basically. Or you can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that. That again, there's court records and things.
So
like
let's just say this. Let's skip all that, and then I'm curious. So you get arrested, right? You have no idea that anything you did gets out to the world. and
Yeah.
You're put in solitary confinement. What is that like? What is solitary confinement?
It's boring.
Okay.
So you know, I often get asked, like, you know, what's solitary confinement like? And I'm like, well, you know, like go into your bathroom, take all this stuff out, and close the door,
Oh my
and then put a
God.
bed in there, and then that's your.
Some people say that's torture. What would you say?
I'm careful with the word torture because, you know, for me, it has a very legal implication.
Okay.
It has very.
What about like cruel and unusual?
I think that it is. I think it is cruel punishment. I think it is. I think that I mean, it's definitely not.
It's not unusual.
Not
sadly.
unusual.
Yeah,
It's very.
sadly,
It's very
yeah.
typical. There's 60,000 people that deal with it every day.
Wow.
I think that it is I think that according to international law, it is unlawful after 15 days. I think that the practice should be banned. I'm skeptical of prisons in general, and I'm, you know, and I never thought I would have this kind of position where I would be like a skeptic of prisons. But
Yeah.
as somebody who's been through prison and seen the system, like I just don't see the value in it.
It
Right?
doesn't do anything.
It doesn't really.
It's a waste of
no,
money.
it does. It does do something. It controls large populations. It doesn't have anything to do with individuals. Like everybody talks about, like, oh well, this is about individual responsibility, right? But it's actually no. It's about collective sort of control of larger populations. That's why it's immigrant populations, and this isn't even just the United States. This is like if you look at New Zealand, for instance, right? The native population in New Zealand, the native population in Canada are some of the highest, you know, some of the highest incarceration rates. You know, it's people of color in the United States. It's immigrants in the United States. You know, the carceral system, like in prisons, like people who, you know, who are in there for petty offenses and just can't pay their way out.
Right.
It's not the intentionality of it is not. It's not about individual responsibility. It's not about crime. It's not about any of these things.
Rehabilitation.
It's about controlling an unwanted population.
I see.
That's the way I view it.
So you were in solitary for how long?
I don't have the exact count off the top of my head, but it was over a year, I think, altogether.
A year?
Over a year
What?
altogether. Not consecutively.
Shit.
Not
Oh.
consecutively. It was 11 months.
11
What?
months?
Yeah.
And so it's the size of
Oh
a
my
bath, just a
God.
bit big enough for a bed to fit.
Yeah, and then it's 59 days of that were in a steel cage in Kuwait.
And so do you have a bed in this steel cage? What is this?
Yeah,
steel
there was a
cage?
mattress.
There was a mattress and anything else but a mattress.
I don't remember. I was just remember it was sandy. It was really real.
There was sand in your cell.
Well, yeah, because it was a tent. It was a tent with a cage inside of it.
Was it hot as
Like a
fuck
tire
in there?
cage. The air conditioner sometimes didn't work. It was usually the ambient temperature. I would say was around 85 to 90 degrees,
Just all the
like
time.
Fahrenheit. That's like 30 to 40 degrees for all you Europeans out there.
So it's a cage with a bed in it.
Yes.
And when you
And-
say cage, there's no privacy?
No, there's no private. The entire time that I was in solitary confinement, I was being watched by at least 2 people.
Wow.
What were
And
you
what
doing?
about like going potty?
Yeah, just go for it.
That's like prison life, though, because
Yeah.
there's just, in prison,
Yeah.
you just have a toilet.
Is there a
There's-
toilet?
Yeah, sometimes I forget to
Yeah.
close the door before I go to the bathroom in my apartment, and whenever I have a friend over, they're like, "Oh,
Oh, you're used to that.
Ah,
prison life.
darn, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of gloss over that, but it really seems like horrific.
it's
I
co-
mean,
it-
I mean,
it is
almost a
cope.
year.
It is the way that it is a coping mechanism,
Mm.
right? You know, it's just like like I had this thing happen to me, and like
Mhm.
my brain and my body are still trying to grapple with that.
And it-
And the easiest way to do that is just like chug on.
Did you have books or something in there?
Oh yeah, I read
Okay.
thousands of books.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know the number, but it's at least 1,000 books.
Mm.
Wow.
I read a lot. I started with like classics too, like American classics and like historical classics in fiction, and then like nonfiction, and I would keep up with like news and newspapers and stuff. I read a lot of periodicals because they were still printing things back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I kept up with a lot of news and information and reading an enormous amount of fictional literature.
Did you learn to love reading, or was it just like,
I've always loved reading, but
Right.
I actually had time to do it, and you know I was able to for a while.
right?
Yeah, my prison was definitely still a time of learning and growth for me personally.
What was the food like when you're in a prison, a solitary cage in Kuwait?
Can I be honest? So Kuwait was awful because you know it was field. It was like field stuff. It was the same
Just
stuff we had in Iraq.
Military food, yeah.
Quantico, where I was at for a period of time, where I was there for 9 months, was a Marine Corps base. Best food I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Prison food?
So the weirdest. It's actually a weird fact because their officer candidate school was right across the street. So it was like where all the officers become and their sort
You
of academy
shared
and
a
stuff.
cafeteria?
We share the food, so it was like
wow.
fantastic food.
Oh, that's so
Three-
interesting.
Like okay, like it wasn't the best food I've ever had, but like the consistency of it being so good, just you know, it's like having a 3-star restaurant food like every day. You're just like wow. But yeah, then the U.S. disciplinary barracks in Kansas and the you know so prison system. The rest of the prison system was pretty typical Sodexo type stuff. Your standard you know slop on a tray.
Got it.
Macaroni and cheese and maybe you know maybe chicken wings here and there. Like I'm trying to eat more plant based, but I have a really soft spot for buffalo wings.
The chicken wings. Yeah, I mean,
Buffalo
who
wings
doesn't?
is
Who
huge.
doesn't?
It's a huge soft
So
spot.
coming out of solitary for close to a year, was it shocking for you?
Yes,
To get
absolutely.
out of that?
I needed a recovery period.
Oh my God.
It took me months to be able to interact with people again.
Because you didn't talk to anyone during that time, I would imagine, or
Yeah, so I did interact with prison guards, but it was mostly just like deliver food, take
Brief.
legal appointments. I started to interact more and more with like, lawyers at the time because we were obviously trying to collect evidence and build a case and try to defend ourselves, make our case to a court martial. But yeah, like my time was fairly isolated.
and so
Does time like become just a complete abstract thing, or?
Yeah, I've learned to value time. I think that one of the most important things that I've learned in my life experience for now is that I care far more about time than I do about money. Like if it's a waste of time, like if you told me that I was gonna get $100 million, but it was like gonna take a huge chunk of my time away, I wouldn't exchange. I would want to do what I want to do with my time.
yeah,
I value time because you know like as awful as our sort of you know capitalist money-based world and structure of society is and sort of the rat race of things is I've really learned the value of time and how it you know we are slowly dying, like we're all slowly dying over time, and that time is valuable, and having that time taken away and then being given back to me
Mhm.
has just made me value every second so much more.
Mm.
And and I don't want to do things, and I want when I spend time, especially with my best friend, and we just watch anime or whatever,
Mhm.
and she often asks me why do you want to hang out with me and spend time with me, and I'm like, because this is what I care about, this is what I value.
Mm-mm.
I value the time together. This is so important to me because I wouldn't give this away for anything else, because
Mhm.
we're
Yeah,
like,
you got a second lease on life.
yeah, absolutely. And I really have an understanding of how precious that time is, and how precious life is, and how precious, relationships are too. Because the relationships that I had in prison were and learning how to interact with people and have meaningful relationships with people was so important. And I always recommend this to people. If people often ask oh, what should I do about people who are in prison or whatever, and I'm like, write to them,
Mm.
pick up the phone call when they call you,
Mm.
send them a little bit of money, have some interaction or be out there in the outside world, because I've seen so many people be forgotten about in the prison system.
Wow.
And it's sending a letter to an inmate, especially an inmate who's been in for a significant chunk of time, can be a life-changing experience for them.
Wow.
It changes their entire outlook on life.
Wow. That's really interesting. So, what was your transition period like when you came out of solitary?
Again, in my book, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed being able to be outside of the prison, or be outside of a cell.
Of a time, yeah, by yourself.
So I started to run. It was one of the first things I did, was I started running again. I was interacting with general population again. It was a little slow in terms of getting used to talking to people. This was a little private at first, and then I got sucked into D&D and playing board games, and I got one of the things that is an invaluable skill from being in jail is I'm really good at poker and spades.
Oh yeah. I for some reason it surprised me just to think of prisoners playing D&D.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an escape.
It is, yeah. I mean, by definition, right? Role-playing game.
Yeah. So, Did you DM? Oh, yeah, I DM. I have a couple campaigns on standby.
So let me just fast forward kind of to, you were in jail for 7 years. And those 7 years, whatever, it comes down. By the way, are you following a lot of the media that's happening? Because people are talking about you during that time. There's people who
Not really my stuff, but almost certainly the rest of the world I was paying attention to.
There was a lot of advocates saying
I tend not to read anything about myself.
Okay.
It helps me.
Yeah, no, I totally
Significantly.
understand that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people saying she's being mistreated, she's being tortured, it's a human rights violation. There was a lot of
everybody in that system is.
Right. I guess they thought that what was happening to you was particularly
Well,
because
I would say that the solitary confinement in Quantico and in Kuwait were documentedly
inhumane.
were found to be by third parties and outside sources, including the United Nations, to be to be improper. Now the rest of my confinement, was no different than most.
I guess
other
they
inmates.
thought that it was just making an example out of you, overly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I speculate a little bit in my book. There we go again.
It's gonna, dude. When that comes out, we're gonna promote it. We're gonna sell so many of those books. I promise.
Yeah, well, if it ever comes out.
If it ever comes out.
Because I've gone on TV and talked about it before already. So.
Well, when your trial came up, one of the charges against you was
Aiding
the enemy, which carries a death sentence.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing that they decided not to go with the death sentence because they went with life. They went for they shot for life without parole.
Yeah.
Which is, how that differs in my mind space to 35 years is mentally.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? But in terms of your ability to access parole in order to early release, things like that, it has a significant difference. But yeah, they really harped on that. And it was a scary. It
Was
would
it
have been
scary?
a scary
Yeah.
precedent. It would have been a scary precedent for a lot
Just
of
to
people.
kill a whistleblower? I mean,
No, not even that. It's because like aiding the enemy is just strange in the military system because it's the one offense that you don't have to be in the military to be charged with by the military.
Interesting. A civilian can be charged for that?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, the military can come in and grab you with that, but it's typically reserved for wartime. So, I'm not a lawyer in this area. It's really complicated. There were a lot of people really scared about it, and the ACLU and a bunch of other a bunch of news organizations were like super nervous about it. It didn't pan out. I got acquitted. Like
Of that one charge.
I got acquitted of that.
Because
so-
you were charged for like 21 things, found guilty on
Yeah, I
17
mean,
or
it was
something
definitely,
like that. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
but yeah, you know, like I
Were you
I
scared
play
of
it.
that charge though? It must have been terrifying to be facing that down in the beginning.
Nah, I mean, like I think it was just like, well, whatever comes, you know. And I had this mindset the whole
Yeah,
time, which was
yeah.
like, you know, I am willing to accept responsibility. I know when I made a decision. You know, did I understand the consequences? Oh God, no.
Hmm.
Nobody had ever gone to prison for this before.
Interesting.
Right? Nobody had ever gone to jail for a significant. Nobody ever like my entire life experience was completely unexpected with this. I expected to lose my job, lose my security clearance, face some.
You
kind
didn't
of
expect it
consequence.
would be such a big deal.
No, I did not. I did not fully grasp how far that they would go or how significant this would be.
But did you know what you were doing was significant? Would be significant for the world.
Honestly, I was a little. I was going through a bit of a dark period where I was just like, and especially after the New York Times and Washington Post struggling with them, I was like, is anybody gonna care?
You were like, does this even matter?
Do people even care?
Yeah, I can totally get that.
Yeah.
And if two biggest papers are like, we can't do this, you're like, well, maybe it's not that interesting.
And I see this every day.
Right.
And I see this horror playing out with my own two eyes and in the sort of this. I understand the statistics and I know what's going on. You know, with the data of what's going on and the reporting and everything else. So I understand the stuff fully, and it's just like how is this how can I share this with people? How can I get people to understand the gravity of this? And I was very worried that, and I still to this day, like there's a darker part of me that often wonders like how much people really seem to care about awful things happening in the world. You know, I'm you know, like seeing the last decade sort of pan out here in the U.S. and after COVID, and seeing, you know, the sort of people not caring about the pandemic and things like that is really alarming for me. You know, just sort of the callousness and the carelessness that you know, because like, you know, when we're presented with the truth and we're presented with evidence of something happening, you know, our propensity to ignore that or to pretend it away or to argue it away is quite frightening, quite disturbing, and that's been a consistent sort of sense or a feeling that I've had, which is, you know, like, do people care?
I think people care.
'Cause I
but
care.
I think people do care. I think part of the problem today is that the propaganda machines have
Yeah.
become so effective that people just don't know.
They don't know what's real.
They can't accept it as
Yeah.
real because there's like a whole propaganda machine on the right that's saying this is all bullshit, and then you go and you don't want to believe it, right? It's a difficult truth.
Yeah.
To say, yo, my government killed 200,000 people in Iraq. And so it's much easier to be like, oh, Tucker.
They deserved it.
Yeah, Tucker's telling me the truth. It's all bullshit. That's a relief, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have to care about it. So I think there's just this really powerful propaganda machine that,
But it's not just the right.
yeah.
You know, the the centrists, the Democrats. You know, this is a bi.
Yeah.
The thing that scares me the most is whenever there's bipartisanship in Congress, because it's usually that they're bipartisan not for a good reason, right? It's usually over something really scary, and that people are just gonna like look the other way. Like, you know, like we're gonna give local police forces like Stinger missiles or javelins,
Right,
you know,
right,
like,
right.
just like-
Yeah,
it's like,
they-
and then you look at the votes and it's just like 435.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's just you know, members of Congress and you know, like set like 96 senators. You know, it's always alarming to me. Like bipartisanship
That's true.
is scary to me often.
Yeah, that's-
because it's usually some of the worst things are bipartisan. Patriot Act, perfect example.
Yeah.
pure bipartisanship.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there ever a point where you regretted doing what you did? You're like, this was not worth it.
You know, I mean, it just couldn't play out any other way. Like one of the things that gets me is that I don't replay the stuff. I don't, you know, I live in the moment and I live thinking of the future. I don't try to relive stuff or relitigate stuff or because like what happened and I can't change that and I guess some people they wanna sort of like question or think of different things, and it was just like it was just that my experience, and I go through again, this is in the book, you know, but that experience like played out in such a meandering freak of nature way, like you know, in such a freak of circumstances way, that I, you know, both good and bad. Like I don't, you know, it was like it's like a statistical error margin of like probabilities that this set of events could have happened in this particular way, and any little thing could have, and if anything had changed at any particular point, you know, if I had decided to go take up a certain offer and go to a different position, I wouldn't have been there. If our unit hadn't been redeployed from Afghanistan to Iraq, history would have played out very differently, and my role would have been very differently. I mean, I had to be in a specific office in a specific time frame. It had specific access to things, and then have a specific like everything was just extremely specific. So I don't try to rehash those decisions because I'm like I made all these decisions that I could do with the information that I had available to me at the time and the options that I had available to me at the time. And what more can you do?
It is pretty incredible, though. I think even throughout it, you did have a lot of, even though there was a lot of like hate for you there within like certain political
I haven't really
spaces,
encountered a lot.
but there was a lot of support. Like I think you must have had some really good lawyers that came to your defense, right? And I mean you.
Sure, you know I have lawyers, but I mean they cost me money. You can't.
Did you have to pay them?
You cannot do a scale. You cannot do a case with a scale pro bono.
But then how do you pay for a case that big? Because that from what I understand, will cost.
Well, we
millions of
raised
dollars.
money. My family raised money. You know, I certainly have debts that I still.
You
have
still
to pay.
owe them?
Well, I mean, like some, but like we have a payment plan, so it's like not a big deal.
Right, there was a big campaign to raise money for you to pay the lawyers. Right?
It's managed.
Yeah, it's
not.
managed.
It's
not an issue for you.
It's not an issue for me.
Wow. But that's pretty incredible. It is incredible, though, throughout everything that you're able to, you know, be free and be living your life.
Yeah.
After all of that, I mean, it is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I'm living a pretty fun life now. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, we were in lockdowns and I wasn't traveling for a bit, but you know, I've been in Europe. I'm here in LA. I mean, although
And like being able
not
to.
a fan of the city.
Of LA?
Yeah.
I get it. It's love-hate. It's not a great city to visit.
I'm an East Coaster through and through. I knew I grew up in the Midwest, but I love New York. I've fallen in love with it.
If you're a New Yorker, LA's the worst city.
I can
You know what
see
I mean?
that.
Because like it's the antithesis.
It's
of
yeah.
New York.
We at least have some modicum of public transportation.
Yeah.
Nothing here.
Yeah.
So
Everything is so spread out here.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Well,
awful.
a 30-minute drive is short. Like it takes us 30 to 40 minutes on a good day here, and we live
that-
like 7 miles away.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
not
7 miles
far.
away is like to JFK in New York. That's like all the way out there.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So basically, the big change came for you when President Obama decided, after everything, to commute your sentence. Why do you think he did that?
You know, he said what he said. So I mean,
What did he say?
He said that he felt that the sentence was too much. That you know, I had served my time, and you know, I had gone through the process and gone through the court system, and you know, and then asked for a commutation, which I did. I asked for.
You petitioned for that.
I petitioned. Well, the public petitioned publicly for time served. We petitioned for 10 years, which is what we were able to do
see.
on
see.
our end. So we wanted a reduction of sentence from 35 years to 10 years, which would have made me in the range of eligibility for parole at that time.
But
and
did it feel like a long shot when you were asking for commutation?
oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like actually, you know, I talk about this again in my book, but like we sort of had reasons for why we were doing it, but they were like to improve my quality of life. You know, to really, you know, just sort of draw attention to some issues and raise some long-term health issues and you know, healthcare issues with being trans and whatnot, and really drive home the sort of message like, you know, it's time to start you know, taking care of some of these things, especially if I'm going to be in prison for, you know, another 20 plus years. And yeah, we had no expectations walking into this.
Yeah.
Like, we were, you know, we figured it was a long shot, and it was actually, honestly, I mean, this is a bold decision from Obama.
Because he's the one that he was the
Like the
president when you
last
got
decision.
sentenced, right?
Yes.
So
Because if you think about it, because I've had time to think about this, you know, this was the last decision that he made as president, as like one of the largest.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's a legacy.
Put a cap on his presidency.
Sort of legacy-defining decision, you know, being a cap and a sort of legacy-defining decision, and you know, and one of those was to give me a chance, and that's a bold, and also not only that, but like this isn't like, oh, we're commuting a 40-year sentence to a 30-year sentence, right?
It was, yeah.
This is like no, we are taking 4/5 of your sentence and slashing it, which is a big deal. I mean, or 5/7 is what I think it is, and yeah, it's a big deal.
It's crazy to think that probably almost any other president probably would not have done that.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the thing. Is like I think that it was a bold and risky. It was a bold and risky decision that, you know, sort of whatever I do for the rest of my life is going to be tied to his decision. So yeah, it was a bold decision, and I'm very aware of that. I'm very aware of sort of the risk that he took.
So how do you feel about President Obama?
You know, I think he tried. I think he was a president who didn't understand the reality of the moment that he was in. He wanted to reach across the aisle. He wanted, you know, like health. You know, getting health care was like the capstone of his entire legacy, and he didn't get anything else done. He's mostly spent the presidency like treading water and whatnot, and sort of one of the reasons for that. And then the only bits of his legacy that he seemed to be able to keep were sort of carryovers from the Bush administration and sort of the solidification, the crystallization of the security apparatus. You know, the use of the use of the militarization of policing in the U.S. Obviously, he became known as sort of the deporter in chief in that time frame. I think that while he personally tried, I think that the presidency is such a toxic office. It's such a poisonous position because it's not just a person; it's an institution. You are the executive of the executive branch of the United States, and the executive branch of the United States acts, you know, acts on behalf of the sort of like ruling class in the United States, and the sort of powers that be within, you know, the moneyed interests of the United States, and so does the Congress, and I think that that he, being sort of this constitutional lawyer, you know, has tried to wrestle with this and grapple with this, and you know, and then you just had this sort of rise of power within the reactionary right, where, you know, went from like, because if you recall, you know, we went from like Paul Ryan being the face of the Tea Party to like Josh Hawley, and you know, and the sort of Marjorie Taylor Greene's, like, you know, the right has been just surging so far right, and just the Overton window has been getting pushed to further and further to the right, and this is even occurring during his presidency, and he's responding to the Republicans and to his progressive base the same way that they were in the 90s, right? You know, which is like progressive base, wait your turn, we'll get to these things when we get to it, and then trying to work across the aisle, constantly scrambling to work with and try to get concessions from Republicans. And this has just been the consistent, you know, like the Biden administration has just got a continuation of this.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, at this point, I think that personally he tried. I think that he made a few decisions as an individual, in that role and in that office, but just sort of like the poisonedness and the toxicity of the office of the presidency is, and I've often I don't know if if you've seen this, but I've regularly advocated for the abolishment of the presidency as a political office. I don't think that a single person should be in this role. I don't think that an executive office should exist. I really think that that's one of that's honestly that's honestly one of the biggest failings I think of the Constitution, is sort of structuring this system in this way in which you have you have this king-like. We have an elected monarch. That's what we have. You switch between the parties or whatnot, but you basically you get to pick who wears the crown every few years, and has all the same powers that the crown of that era of the 18th century had, right? And so yeah, I'm very skeptical of sort of the ability of any I don't think you just need to elect the right president. I think the problem is the office itself.
Interesting. Do you have personal feelings towards Obama as the person who commuted your sentence?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I find it correct, because politically, obviously, we sort of have some disagreements and whatnot. But I mean, that's a bold personal decision, and I can't. How can I?
Yeah.
That
so you feel
he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
There was no penalty to pay for him not doing that.
Sure, it was only a risk to him.
Yeah.
No benefit, really.
And that's significant on a personal level to me.
There is a level of gratitude towards him.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Personally, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. So where were you when this first broke that you had effectively been
That's in the book.
commuted?
Yes, you're asking vignettes for the book now.
Okay, where were you the second after? No. So, I'm assuming you were in jail, and
I do other stuff now. I do other stuff. I'm a security expert. I work in the field of AI now. I work on many projects. And I'm just getting started. I'm starting to do media stuff again. I started to pivot, but it's just one of the things I've been trying to do for the last few years is I've been trying to what about 2010 or what about president? I'm just look around you. This is a pretty scary time. It's a pretty intense time.
Well, let me ask you about the book then. How long have you been working on it?
It's been since 2017.
Wow.
Yeah, the book ends in 2017.
Oh, it's just about that year, you mean, or
no?
What do you mean
No. It's my life story up to 2017.
Okay, I see. And I know that you've been writing it, and right now the book is just being held for approval from the government. Is that
no? I think it got approved. So.
Oh, you're all approved.
Yeah, it's approved. Now we just need to actually publish the book.
So but you do have a publisher?
Yeah, Frau Strauss. I can never pronounce it right. FSG.
So this is going to be a huge national publication, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. It's not like Verso Press or anything.
Have you ever written a book? I mean, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was awful.
Really? Why?
I don't recommend it for anyone. Oh, because I'm rehashing and reliving awful stuff. I mean, honestly, there were 3 drafts that I went through, and it was there were times whenever I couldn't look at the screen because I would have an anxiety attack looking at the screen. I could write a book about writing the book. That's how intense this process was. And I probably will.
Mostly just from reliving the trauma, not the act of actually writing.
I'm probably going to have to write a book about just sort of dealing with the real, with sort of developing a lot of traumas, living through a traumatic period of my life, and then having that be taken away, but also having the traumas be taken away, and then be dragged into a world where everything is just sort of a United States that is slowly crumbling, and the infrastructure is collapsing, and the institutions are failing, and there's attempted coups and mass shootings that don't lead to any sort of any kind of change or anything like that. You have mass protests, the largest protest movement ever in United States history, not lead to virtually any change whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just such a debilitatingly exhausting time period to be a political figure and to be somebody who cares and is passionate about activism and politics and being involved in the world and being involved in the community and to carry this weight of this time frame and this experience. It's gonna take. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever recover. I don't know if I'll ever fully recover, but
I mean, it's
I'm definitely healing. I'm definitely
I
healing.
mean,
I probably wouldn't have been able
so
to have.
much.
I probably wouldn't have been able to have this conversation in this way in 20
Yeah.
with you.
What was it like working? I'm assuming you worked with editors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was it weird getting notes on your like personal anecdotes? Or?
Oh, and they always wanted more.
Oh, they say dig deeper.
Yeah,
I see.
which I did. I did dig deeper, within the confines of the law.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because the government obviously got to say, we relented on that. We went through a government approval process, but yeah, the editorial process was
Brutal.
woo.
Brutal.
Yeah, I believe I called my editor the butcher.
Oh no.
'Cause-
But that's good, right? To have a brutal. Did you like your editor, or was it just like,
I mean, I hated my editor until the book was cut, and then
then it was like, this is good.
and then I was like, I'm satisfied.
I see.
This isn't the book that I envisioned. This isn't the book that I set out to write.
Interesting.
This isn't the book but it's the book that I feel comfortable with, and then that I feel comfortable with, and I can say, I can put my name on this. That was that process.
So the book is basically just like an autobiography.
There were times when I was like, this book sucks, and I was
Yeah.
just throwing sheets. Of
Really?
paper.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you were doing that with the information you had when the New York Times didn't want it to. So I'm sure the book is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm just eager to. I'm very eager to move on with my life
Yeah.
and
I
to like
understand.
get on to the next stuff because like I got bigger stuff coming.
So what are you working
Like
on
what?
now? Yeah. What's you?
So I'm working on right now. Obviously, the book is coming out. I work for a privacy company now.
You
so
work like full time for them,
I work.
or like a freelance thing?
I'm a contractor.
Okay, yeah.
But I work. I essentially work. I work part time, full time. Like basically,
see.
it's full time hours sometimes, and then part time hours other
Interesting.
times. So I am a contractor for a privacy company called NIM, which is privacy, but which is like a privacy technology, like Tor, like, and VPNs and things like that. It is a forward-thinking technology and sort of looking forward over the next 20 years and sort of the needs of anonymization and encryption and securing things on the internet. I actually came up with a very similar idea in 2016. Which is one of the reasons why they reached out to me in 2016 was they were trying to get my opinion on it. So I reviewed this white paper, and I got asked to review it. And I went through and I reviewed it, and I went through it, and I'm not trying to do like a sales pitch or anything for them right now, but this is something that I'm working on and that I sort of helped develop and create. The downside is that we're doing cryptography and we're doing privacy-based technology in a time whenever like everybody associates crypto with like cryptocurrency and tokens. And,
Yeah, it's
you know.
crypto in a completely different way. Or
Yeah, so it's more
crypto in a
private.
similar
It's
way.
privacy focused. There is a blockchain component to it, which is like the part that makes people cringe. But I'm like, well, this is blockchain technology is like this is not This is not scam NFTs. This is not. Nobody's gonna be making like this isn't Bitcoin. Like nobody's gonna be hoarding tons and tons of this stuff. It's simply a sort of management system, a way of managing sort of
Interesting.
nodes across the network or whatever to truly decentralize things. Which I understand the skepticism of that because I am not a crypto bro. I am not. I am not into this stuff whatsoever. So like it's just trying to educate people about sort of like how cryptographic technology can work without it burning down the rainforest.
Right.
Without it sort of like leading to a bunch of nouveau riche crypto bros like buying big houses in the Hollywood Hills.
Right, right.
And having cringe JPEGs, be sort of sold.
Of course.
Like it's just like like the good news is that the crypto crash has made it easier to sort of like, because it's cleared a lot of the people who are just like out to just get rich quick out of the way, and sort of be able to be like, well, actually, like I come from from the privacy technology space, which is older and is where a lot of this stuff came from. It's all these grifters who came back later to try to get rich quick. So, but we are sort of operating in the space where we're anytime we talk about cryptography or privacy, like people are just like, are you talking about Bitcoin? And I'm like, no.
Yeah. So are you a little bit resentful, or maybe, I don't know if that's the right word, but all these people that came out and kind of, just like you described, just kind of ruined crypto and the public,
Oh, absolutely.
the public sphere?
Oh, absolutely.
Because like
Especially
you said, crypto's synonymous with like scam.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's going to continue to be a problem.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it's not like the crypto crash, I think, has cleared a lot of people, but they're like,
I'm
it's
curious
just
what-
going to open things up for the next bear market, for the next quote unquote bear market.
Bitcoin's still at 29,000. Yeah. But I mean, what was it at before? Like 50, 60?
I don't have any token assets, so I don't really.
Me neither. We're token free. Well, that's great. And I know you were streaming on Twitch, you said, during the pandemic?
I was streaming on Twitch, but I have the big thing I'm working on right now is I'm working on a YouTube series.
Oh.
I've been working on this for 1.5 years. I know that people are going to be like, I've been paying your Patreon for this.
So
thing.
what's the project?
It's a first YouTube. It's a YouTube series in which I break down advanced technologies and sort of discussions about them, the things that are topical, and break them down to a Bill Nye the Science Guy 8th grade level.
So what's the hold up if it's episodic?
Well, it's episodic in the terms of like the topic. So the first video is cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Which it may be cryptocurrency a post-mortem, where I just sort of talk about and then I get into the weeds of how it actually works.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like, the most asked question of 2021 was, what is an NFT and what is how does cryptocurrency work, right? And I was like, okay, I'm asked this question so much. There's obviously demand for this, and I looked for people to try to talk about this stuff, and everybody's talking about the market.
Right.
Everybody's talking about like burning down of rainforests, which all this stuff is true, but nobody's boiling it down to the most interesting part for me as a technologist, which is the math. Which is how this, like, why is cryptography a basis of this technology? And I get into that, and sort of how that connects to science, technology.
So when can we expect that? That sounds great.
I've redone filming and production because I didn't like the first version.
Oh, I see. I've been
was
there.
Like, I saw the first version. I was like, okay, I learned how not to do this, and I learned what it was a learning experience for me. But yeah, so we're up. I'm filming this weekend, in fact.
Okay.
In New York again. I'm back to filming portions of it. So we're in the production phase. And mostly we're just sort of rehashing on stuff. So I'm thinking that by the end of summer, but I said by the end of summer last summer. But we put a pin in it. Actually, we put a pin in production because COVID in late 2021, because it looked like we were coming out of it, and then Delta hit, Delta and then Omicron.
And now it's like crazy again.
Yeah, it's crazy again, but
I think it's kind of nuts. Like everybody I know is getting COVID. Like all my family members, all my friends, these guys.
Yeah.
It's like people aren't really dying, but the long COVID is scary as fuck.
Yeah, it is scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't want
got
any
when I
of
got
that.
COVID in 2021, I had symptoms for about 2 or 3 months.
Oh, so you had a little bit of long COVID.
Yeah, I did. It was actually funny because when I got the third shot, when I got the booster, in December, January, all those symptoms went away.
Oh wow.
Oh, really?
And
That's
it went away.
amazing.
Yeah, and then like 3 months later, I got COVID again. But,
Really? Just
I
3
did.
month later? Oh,
I
fuck.
did. 3 months later, I got COVID again, but it was like by that time it didn't phase me. I
Yeah.
tested positive, and I was like, oh wow, like the rapid test, I'm positive.
But
Then I
you-
started to feel like a little under the weather, but like it didn't really knock me out or anything like it did before.
So there's one question that everyone wants to ask before we wrap this up, and it's, what is your favorite anime? The people are wondering.
Oh, that's a good question. Because
Really?
I'm actually torn a little bit. with my animes, because Death Note is very high up there.
Death
Oh,
Note
I
is
love
pretty
that.
good, but in my opinion, I won't
But
say
I've watched it
overrated.
recently.
Yeah, I won't say overrated, but yeah.
I've rewatched it recently, and I've realized that it fails the Bechdel test enormously, which as a trans woman kind of bothers me.
Oh, is that where there's like
The what
not
test?
enough women in it?
There's
or-
not enough women, and
It's
then
really
they only
interesting,
talk
yeah.
about they only
Uh-huh.
talk about other men or whatever.
Yeah, when there's a woman in on the scene, they only talk about other men.
So
it's
I
really
wanna,
interesting.
I want to see Death Note, but like with more more girl power. I want to see an anime of that variety. So Death Note's pretty high up there. Yeah, Neon Evangelion is pretty good. I actually revisited Gundam Wing.
Oh wow.
I revisited Gundam because I watched. That was one of the first animes that I ever saw. Then it's actually aged really well, and amazingly, it does not fail the Bechdel test.
So,
That's
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to.
That's the
really,
90s.
Like, what is the specification of that test? Because it's not like
Oh,
it
it's-
is
you can look it up.
really. Yeah, it's actually you have to be really fucking bad to fail this test,
Yeah.
and it's incredible how many things fail this test. How's it
Oh,
called? Or send me the rules, AB. It's
sorry,
actually really
good.
interesting. It's incredible how much media actually fails this, because when you hear this, you'll be shocked. So that's it. What about One Punch Man?
One Punch Man?
Oh my god,
I haven't seen it.
you gotta
no.
watch that. It's so fucking.
No, I haven't
good.
seen it.
That's probably. My
I'm not a
favorite.
weeb.
You're
but-
not a weeb. Okay.
I'm not a weeb, but I do watch. I do.
Everyone.
No, my best friend in the whole wide world is a weeb.
She's
is
a weebo.
Is a diehard weeb,
Um,
and is my source of all things anime and all sorts if I ask a question, she like knows it. She's like on point, and I'm just like, oh wow.
So let me recommend. My favorite is Hunter x Hunter.
Uh huh.
You've seen that one or not yet?
I have seen that. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you love it?
I thought it was alright.
Mm.
You watched
Sorry.
the whole thing? You saw the Chimera Ant arc?
I did.
Okay, all right. Everyone's
Yeah,
entitled.
well, I mean, like I'm into mecha, okay?
Yeah. A mecha? There's no mechs in that.
I know. That's what I'm.
Oh,
into
you like the
mecha.
mech shit. Okay.
I
you
like the mech shit. Like
You like the mech
Gundam,
shit.
like Evangelion, like yeah.
There's some mechs in One Punch. There's a little mechage there.
There's a little bit, but you know, it's not like
King of the Hill, I see people saying.
King of the Hill. It's not an anime. It's great.
Attack on Titan is awesome.
Attack on Titan is great.
Yeah,
I
that,
like
show,
Attack
that
on
shows.
Let's go.
That show is really good.
Yeah.
And then My Hero Academia is one that I really like. It's a little.
You know what?
I like
that show. I like it.
I like it, but I wouldn't put it in a
I've seen
list.
some bad anime too recently.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've
I'm
seen
sure
some
there's a
bad.
lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad anime. I have a Crunchyroll. Okay.
I've been trying to get on Crunchyroll. Do you know what's so weird? I'm trying to sign up with Apple TV, and
Yeah.
they're making me sign in through iTunes, and I'm like, I don't fucking know my iTunes, and I really want to get
Your
on
Apple ID.
Crunchyroll. We tried that, didn't we? All right, I gotta put more
I don't
effort into
remember.
this.
Gotta find the email address.
Yeah.
God, you talk to me. I'm the security.
So people are saying it's your birthday. Is it your birthday?
My
What's your
birthday?
birthday?
Oh, I don't know why people are saying that.
December 17th is my
Oh,
birthday.
that's not even close.
Yeah.
Oh.
Couldn't be further away, actually. Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly 6 months away.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let me read this test because this is actually interesting. So,
I just think I'm fascinated by how close we are in age, though.
are you 36?
I'm 34.
Oh, I'm like
Oh.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
guys
December
are
12th,
closer
by
in
the
age.
way, so we're very close.
Why are you fascinated by how close we are in age?
I don't know. Cause
I'm about to be 37, so
you
we're
know,
not even that
I
close.
look because I look I feel closer to you than I am to Hassan.
Oh, really? Is
Because
Hassan
Hassan's like
younger?
yeah, Hassan's
I'm
Hassan's a
used,
youngie.
You know what? I'm used to everyone being
Hassan's
younger
30.
than me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
young man. He looks old as fuck though. He's decrepit.
Yeah, he looks big.
How he
but
he
looks
hunches. He's like.
child.
But you know what?
Child.
I'm used to everyone being
He's a
younger
sweet
than
summer
me.
Child.
Yeah, he's a summer child. So let's see. This test is a measurement of the representation of women in fiction.
Yep.
It asks whether a work features at least two women who talk to each other about something other than a man.
Wow.
That's it.
Yep.
All that has to happen is that two women have to talk to each other about something other than a man.
That's
Entire
crazy.
series
so
of Death
much.
Note fails.
That's
Wow.
I mean, it's insane how many shows actually failed.
Yeah, I know. I like just do a sort of running estimate when I'm watching these things now, so I pick up on this. But so like when I watch it again, because I watched it when I was like 16 or 17. No, it was 18 because it came out in like came out in like 2007, right? So like I was like young when it came out.
I'm actually curious how many shows fail or movies fail this. Can you find the list?
It's enormous.
Because it's like it's kind of insane when you see this. The
Basically anything from the 1990s.
AB wants to say that Attack on Titan, the women are badass. So there you have it.
Yeah,
He's
there you
always-
go. I love Attack on
True.
Titan.
Hey,
Hey, Jaeger.
get me a list of notable failures. Oh, here it is. The Bechdel. Bechdel.
Yep, Bechdel test.
Here it is. All right, let's take a look.
Hey, Jaeger, who's that babe?
The list. Hey, how about you guys? Can you guys send me the link that?
You see on the side, it's like all recent movies and whether or not it passes.
But can you send me a list of like notable?
Morbius fails.
Of course it did. Morbius fails in every aspect. Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore
Not
failed.
surprising when
That's
you have
incredible. It's just incredible that anything could fail that.
Top Gun Maverick fail.
Well, I don't think there's even any women in that movie. I haven't seen it though. All right, here I got a list. 11 blockbusters that fail the Bechdel test. Let's take a look. Yo, a whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, the whole trilogy?
Are you serious?
That's written. They stuck with the book, and it's true. It's absolutely true.
Dude, the whole like 11 hours. There's not two women having a conversation about anything but a man.
Nope.
That's
That's
nuts.
crazy.
Ratatouille. Damn you, mouse.
What?
Slumdog Millionaire. Avatar. Really?
Hate it.
Avatar? The Social Network. I mean, okay. Jump Street.
The Avengers.
The Avengers?
Yep.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
The Grand Budapest Hotel?
That surprised me.
That is surprising. Well, it's super fascinating.
Yeah.
I love this stuff.
Well, on that note,
Yeah. Well, you know what?
we didn't fail the Bechdel test today.
No. In fact, not even close. Yeah. Not even
We
close.
didn't talk to each other about just a man. So
Yeah. Did you guys mention a man to? I don't think so.
I don't think it matters.
There you
Who's this fucking guy?
go. So the book is coming out hopefully this year, beginning of next year.
Yeah.
And we are going to be standing by, very excited to read it.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled to, actually do something that I've been working on for 5 years.
And we also look forward to your YouTube series that's coming out.
Yep.
Hopefully soon, right?
Yes. The YouTube account is XY Chelsea. It's just I think it's just XY Chelsea on YouTube.
Is there anything on that channel currently? Or?
No, there's nothing on that channel
Oh, okay,
currently. It's just
okay.
it's prepared. It's set aside. I'll publish it and I'll post it. I have a Patreon. I'm not recommending people subscribe to the Patreon right now because one, I don't really need the budget. We already have the budget for it. And we're gonna wait until we actually put something out before I start pitching it.
Okay.
Again, because we raised money and we set that money aside, and that's been being used for the production project. So
Okay.
I've been trying to send emails to people who have subscribed, and I'm just like, no, we're still doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's still happening.
Yeah.
It's just like literally production problems.
And is
budget.
there anything else you want to plug before we?
Oh, I
You're
have
on
so many things.
Twitter. You're on Instagram. You're
Yeah,
on Twitch.
I'm on Twitch, or I was on Twitch. I haven't done a Twitch stream since November of last year.
Is it
I
ex-
will be streaming again. Once I probably towards the autumn, I will be streaming again because I'm really just waiting on the slowdown in terms of like my travel because I've been making up for all of the travel of the last 2 years, last 3 years really. In the last 3 or 4 months.
You know what's crazy? So your tag is like XY Chelsea, right?
It is, yes.
I just typed. There's like a whole documentary. There's so much media.
There was
about
a
you.
documentary, yeah.
A Showtime documentary, XY Chelsea. What's the XY mean?
That's just that's my chromosomes, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But why would they?
That's me.
That's an interesting name for a documentary.
They chose it because that's my
That's
my
your
Twitter handle.
thing.
That's my
Okay.
Twitter handle. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. But
I gotta get that trademark back.
It's kind of. Is it kind of surreal that there's like so much media about you? There's like
Yeah, I don't
bunch
see any
of
of it. I don't
documentaries.
read any of it.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah. I highly recommend that. One of the worst things that like Twitch streamers, YouTubers, Twitter personalities do is they read their own stuff. Never.
Yeah, you know, I
Yeah.
It will
came
just
to the same
doom-
conclusion.
You will doom pill because
Yeah.
nobody's ever gonna write the right thing. You're always gonna know that it's different. I live in happily in bliss. I have this is why I have an assistant who reads the stuff for me.
Good. Beautiful. That's
yeah,
the way
exactly.
to do it.
The
yeah.
producer's like, "Yep,
100%.
I got you covered, Ethan."
100%. Well, you know, it's such a pleasure and honor to have you.
It's great to be here. I'm
Thanks
a big
for
fan.
yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing. You know, all those.
And you're a victim of cancel culture.
Yes.
I want you to know
say
that.
it from the rooftop. Say it.
As a free speech advocate.
Thank you. Amen.
Let this man go.
When will I be?
Let him
free?
go off the rails.
Let me go off the rails in peace. Yeah, they'll actually. You know what's interesting? I've been canceled many times. Lost a lot of sponsors. I will say, and I guess maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but knock on wood, I didn't lose any from the bomb shit.
Well, that's because you already lost them.
I think, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. To be fair, I think all of them that we're
You're
gonna
in, like,
leave
Tucker
lost.
Carlson mode, where you've lost everybody, but you still have,
I still got my pillow, baby.
Still got my pillow.
Yeah. Can we get my pillow? I wonder if Mike Lindell would sponsor us. Yeah.
No, that's not.
I need some my pillow money. Yeah. Where is there a lib version of my pillow?
There is, but don't look at it.
Yeah,
don't look at it.
that's
Please
not.
Really?
don't. Oh
That-
no, now you're gonna look it up, aren't you?
No, but I mean like a super rich dude
So cringe.
who's willing to pay me no matter what I say.
Oh, it already exists.
It
What is
does?
it David Hogg's thing?
What is
Yeah,
that?
his name's David.
Oh, he
Hogg.
made the pillow.
Yeah.
The lib pillow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he made a lib pillow.
Oh, God.
Liberal tears pillow.
Yeah. Well, you got tissues. So.
All right, hopefully Hog can
We need a Kleenex sponsor.
can take that big fat hog and sponsor me,
Yeah.
right? Anyone? Hog? Thank you, Hog.
That was
All right.
bad
Well,
slap.
listen.
Womp,
You're going
womp,
back to New York
womp.
soon?
Yes, I am. I'm going back to New York. Where? Oh God, I don't. This is why I have an assistant.
Yeah,
who runs-
love. Shout out. Love it. Love.
I want to be able to have a job like you, where I sit in one spot.
Yeah.
Which I was doing last year. But lately I've been on travel, and I'm going to be traveling probably until 2023 at this stage. So
Speaking engagements and stuff like that?
a lot of speaking. I mean, the project I'm working on, most of the employees work in Europe, so that requires a lot of transatlantic travel.
Oh, wow.
And that's the NIM project. And I am also, obviously doing media and filming and things like that. So
Yep.
a lot of projects up in the air.
Yep.
And then obviously basically I'm just like all of these different projects that I've been working on for the last 2 years are all starting to come to fruition in the next 6 months.
That'll be good.
So, like
That'll
the
feel good
video,
to get it all out
DJ
there.
stuff. Like I'm gonna start doing my first DJ sets. The book is coming out. The video, streaming. I'm gonna get back into streaming. All these different things are sort of all happening all at once, which means that I have no sleep schedule whatsoever.
You know, I just there was one thing I wanted to ask you that I just realized.
Yep.
That I forgot to circle back to. You know, I was just really curious how your dad, having the military man,
Yeah.
and having done, become who you are and what you did, was that when you guys cut off communication, or did you talk to him after all that happened?
Oh no, that's a different thing. This is a different family issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what was his reaction to the whole leaking thing?
I think he's just still in denial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a cringe interview. Like, don't look at it.
Oh,
There's,
your
like a cringe
your dad
interview.
did an
Like
interview.
he said that it was like impossible for me to do that or something like that.
Oh, he thinks you're innocent. It never happened.
Well, yeah, it was like, but that was like in his own. It was we told him not to, and we're like, yeah, Dad, wait, like we have a court martial coming up. Like, don't go
wow.
on TV and say things.
So it's been a long time since you talked to him. So I guess you don't really know what's his opinion about all that.
I don't, but this is why I have my sister and why I have my aunt. So like we keep I don't want to get in my family.
Yeah.
My family's off limits.
Yeah.
I understand.
And like, at the end of the day, as much as I have a falling out with any family member, like that we're still
Family.
we're still family. So
Mm-hmm.
this is it's a total, like, the reason why I haven't talked to my dad in a while is nothing to do with
The leaking.
with the leaks or the public stuff. It is completely internal family affairs.
Interesting. Okay. I thought there might be a connection there, but
No,
there
there
you
isn't.
have it, folks. The one thing I wanted to ask, and
You had to leave it on that note.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right.
Well, where
Yeah,
were
I
we
gotta
talking
move on to the
about?
next thing. On to the next thing.
We were talking about.
Well, all your
We're talking about
projects.
getting home
Yeah.
or getting on.
Yeah.
'Cause I gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, have a safe flight. Good luck with everything. I'm
Yeah.
very much looking forward to all the stuff you're working on
Thanks
coming
for
out.
having me.
And
Thank you.
Again, huge fan.
yeah. Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for coming
I
on.
think
It
you
was
should
great.
put up the
And
book
don't be
for-
black-pilled anymore. I'm optimistic.
Wow.
If I can go through everything that I've gone through, and you can live in, you can live in Los Angeles and have this opportunity, and have this show. Like, there's no reason for you to be doom-pilled.
I'm doom-pilled. I mean, just seeing Tucker, just being able to see Ted Cruz say something colossally stupid as "We need one door," and him not get like.
You know, as somebody who grew up in the
destroyed
Midwest,
publicly, I mean,
as
it's just-
somebody
it's just-
who grew up in the Midwest, the truth doesn't matter. All that matters is that it owns libs.
That's blackpilling.
Yeah.
It's so depressing. By the way, if you need help with any YouTube stuff, let us know.
Oh,
We're great. We're great. With
We're
one
all right.
thing. We know all the
all right.
YouTube
I'm gonna
stuff.
put you in connection with my business.
Yeah,
My business
yeah.
client.
We can help you with whatever you need.
All right, next.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for watching. It's Friday, baby. Ow! Woo! Friday. I hope everyone has a great weekend. We will be back on Monday as usual. Do we have anything next week, Dan, that we're working on?
We have a bunch of stuff.
Hold on, I had to figure out where Ian's mute switch is. Yes, we have a big week next week, but one of it is a top secret project that.
Is it top secret?
Well, don't tell me.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah.
All right. Well, just stay.
It'll be
tuned.
next Friday's episode, though. We got something really big planned for next Friday, so look forward to that, everybody.
Thanks, guys. See you on a
Thank
great
you.
weekend. All right.
Thank
take care.
you.
Ta-ta. Woo! Fuck yeah, baby. Ow.
We podcasting now. You're watching H to the 3. 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 Might drink some mayo while the incest on the sleep. Shredder will start barking, more freighters acting sweet. We'll do the real raw ritual with more. And ET.